in the morning with a big grin on my face. Took off my do-rag so I can brush down the microwave. Tap shorty next to me wearing that micro braid. She was choosing my temple face, so this morning is where she lays. Hey, they were on the strap even before we did all the facts. She's taking Decatur, but she lives in my lap. Rap. My nigga Rio had to put a drive on the map. We walking really slow because we got the south on our back. Yeah, my nigga flawless in the cranberry color lack. With that I feel I fit with the matching shoes and the A-town hat. Act up if you wanna, you get put down on your back. Getting stumped out by like 8 Air Force Ones with the loosest strap. You ain't even in my race, acting like that you running rap. So stay in your lane when you speaking up on your tracks. And check out the shades and Dr. J's, cause I'm cool as the ice cubes and my pink lemonade, okay?
Pink lemonade, matching sauce, and I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks. And my pearlette riding through the swats. Where them niggas stay cool because that 9 gets hot. Yeah. Pink lemonade, matching sauce, and I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks. And my pearlette riding through the swats. Where them niggas stay cool because that 9 gets hot.
Banana color dick is, ooh, y'all don't hear me. I'm fresher than Bel Air Princess. Somebody come and get me cause I'm murking. Hurting niggas for certain. Lurking down the street on beat. Tweet is chirping like Blue Jays, Kool-Aid, pink lemonade, shade, frame, maintain. I'm coming up in this game like my name LeBron James. You see me at the West End posted at Krispy Kreme. You're hating on your boy like a lame damn shame. But it's all good, I know y'all gon' envy. You remind me of this girl, so yeah, I'ma call you Kenji for playing on my sax, man. Post star the facts, man. You finna get jacked, man, getting played like Pac-Man, Batman, Robin, Joker, picking up slack, man. Pancake niggas always gonna be flat, man. Man, cause my shawty got on them strap pants. Her ass clap hands when she lap dance.
Pink lemonade, matching sauce, and I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks. And my pearlette riding through the swats. Where them niggas stay cool because that 9 gets hot. Yeah. Pink lemonade, matching sauce, and I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks. And my pearlette riding through the swats. Where them niggas stay cool because that 9 gets hot. I put that shit off in my Cadillac, ride through my city street, bumping Jimi Hendrix cars, looking for a freak to me. Purple got me drifting crazy, whipping, slipping back and forth, trying to get my check to cash, headed to the package store. Stayed cool for many days, matter of fact, a long time. Rio back from Carver home, look, shot on grown now. Sitting off in my dojo, watching fly pay like Miss Miyagi. Niggas in the streets ducking, I ain't even hit nobody, split nobody, with some decisions, whatever you may call it. Just leave a message, then I may be off like alcoholic, mobile skills, so for real, catch me on the post and chill, dreaded down, fitted cap, hell, lower A-less pill, won't sleep until I'm dead, listen to my son's bed, till he hit that kitchen saying, look, I made my own bread, Ace taught me good this year, scarecrow nigga from the yard, shot, I told that what this year, Pickaboo, you scared nigga, man, I ain't gonna hide, like me being born screaming, man, I ain't finna die, that ain't gonna happen, boss, still folk can take that loss, once this verse is done, people, y'all can shut that radio off, fuck 'em.
Yeah.
Yo, 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 yo. It's another episode of the Weekend Rhyme. It's your boy Ron. This is Leroy Green. What it is, brother?
What's up, my brother? How you doing? Juneteenth, we in the building? You know what I mean?
Hey, we in the building, man. We in the building, man. It's a great show tonight. Tonight, we're going to give one of the GOATs, the man who created the GOAT term.
Get my dashiki out here for Juneteenth. You know? We're gonna talk about that. That makes some people happy, it makes some people mad. And it's black folks that be mad over their own colors. We're gonna talk about that.
You know, I got so many. I don't know if this is a show for tonight to unpack my thoughts on it, but if we want to go there, we can go there. But anyway, tonight's show is about LL Cool J, the guy. I think I didn't hear the term GOAT. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Before LL Cool J named his 2001 album GOAT, greatest of all time. I never heard about it. Now it's used in sports, it's used in music, it's used in anything, even business. People call each other the GOAT. And I think that's all based upon Uncle L. So tonight we're going to give him his flowers.
We're going to do that.
Talk about his career.
We're going to do that.
Song out, produced by Q-Tip, Rick Ross, Fat Joe, called Saturday Night Special. We're going to talk about that. And I got my favorite LL songs I want to talk about. And yeah. And before we get started with the show, I want to say the last couple of shows.
Hold on with the GOAT thing. LL, that's the first time I did hear the GOAT thing. However, though, but GOAT, I heard something crazy today when they were like, somebody tried to use GOAT in a negative context. So what the overall point I want to get about today is the balance. We talked about Pac last time. There's a balance, right? Good of the word GOAT, and then someone else using the word GOAT with a negative connotation. So I'm going to do that tonight with conscious rap and backpack and see how there's a balance to that, to where one, it's used positive, but then it's used negative. So I just want to make that point because GOAT, somebody was like, yeah, man, but that's because he's part of the Illuminati. And see, when you have a negative viewpoint on something that is positive, that works against the culture. So go ahead, Ron. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So we gonna get into it tonight, though. LL Cool J, one of the greatest of all time. I got to go back to some of his recent albums, but Ron, yeah,
I'm here. I had some technical difficulties. We in the building, man. One thing I want to say, man, is about our platform, Recording Hip Hop. As one of the co-founders of Recording Hip Hop, one of the key tenets that Mike and I founded this on was respect. So I want to make sure we keep our space very respectful. I know we have passionate conversations about hip hop, and sometimes you're not going to agree on what I say, what Mike says, what Leroy says, what Super Duper says, what anybody says. But let's just keep it above board. Let's keep it respectful. Let's make sure we disagree in truth. Let's disagree in good spirits, man. We're a Black-owned platform, and we want to keep it above board, man. We ain't trying to, nobody want to pull up on nobody or see nobody and none of that stuff like that. That's not what this is about. This is about having productive conversations about the culture that we all love in hip hop. So let's keep it positive. Hold on, let me finish. We can disagree, and that's good. And this whole platform was built to drive discussion. So let's just do that, and let's just have some fun, man. Have conversations, keep the spirit of hip hop alive. And we're not going to agree on everything, right? We're not going to see eye to eye on everything. Sometimes some people think my takes are crazy. Hell, sometimes I think Mike's takes are crazy, and then damn sure I think some of Leroy's takes are crazy sometimes. But
as
long as we keep it respectful, I think we're good. So Leroy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, what I want to say to that is like carrying the torch of something that's constructive for the culture, right? And it's one thing if you come at me, but when you and people have gotten at me for not calling artists trash. And the reason why I don't call artists trash is just because I don't think that's the way I should. Artists are trash, right? So that's why I don't use it. So that's why, people be like, you're being too nice. It's not that I'm being too nice. It's because I respect the craft and I respect this culture, right? So it's beyond just throwing darts at me. When you start throwing darts at everybody, that's where I take issue. And it's beyond just here on this platform, right? There are people behind this, and there's a generation coming in after this. You know what I mean? To which, it's youth in there, and the youth is trying to escape certain the predicaments and circumstances that we know the youth face. And some of us are right there on the front line with them, encouraging them to keep going. I represent the artists that do not have the connections, that are not rich, that do not have levers they can pull in the music industry. So to to even think for 1 minute that I would be diminishing Pac, or that can have I'm going into the game, right? And when we talk about institution building and for the next generation, this is a book, for example. This is a book meant to go in schools, right? For children to learn about the culture. The foreword is done by Big Daddy Kane, right? So it could never be no hate. It could never be no hate when we're trying to usher in the youth into information about this culture, into what we deem as the best of this culture. It could never be no hate and no disrespect to the legends, especially when we're trying to work with the youth and usher in the youth to a higher level of the culture. So that's all I'm asking. If you anything outside of that, we could talk about that. But on this platform, it got to be a certain level to where it can be understood on a level that's scholastic and with academia as well. You know what I mean? So we're going to start peeling back the layers to this in all these conversations with LL Cool J. LL Cool J represents the foundation. And I'm going to use the word past only because he came out in the 80s. So I'm just saying in the past, in the 80s. That's not to disrespect LL because he came out in that time. I'm just saying he came out in that time. That's an elder, a part of the foundation. We talk about cannabis. Cannabis at that time represented a new idea, and that new way of expression was never meant to diss LL on the way it was taken. It was just a new idea. So today I'm going to talk about not just conscious rap, aka backpack rap, but anti-consciousness in this culture, because the anti-consciousness comes in at the middle ground where you have a choice in the middle of that balance between conscious and anti-conscious. It's a choice, and there's pushback, and I'm gonna give examples on that pushback in the culture that show that such a pushback exists, and we need to stop that. Why? Because we're trying to elevate hip-hop into a whole nother level, into something new. Go ahead, Ron. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, cool. Let's get to the show. We got that out the way. LL dropped Saturday night. What's the song called? Saturday Night Special, I think. Yesterday on Friday. I thought it was a good record. I thought produced by Q-Tip. Got Fat Joe, got Rick Ross on it. I thought it was good. So everybody in the chat, what y'all think about the LL song? I thought Q-Tip laced him with some great production. LL was trying to sound different. Now I talked to Mike about this earlier. He didn't think it sounded too try hard. Some people do think L was trying a little too hard on it, but I thought it sounded natural. I thought him and Q-Tip got down on it. I thought Ross did his thing as normal. I think that kind of fit, Ross's his technique, his flow, his aesthetic. That type of beat that Q-Tip laced up, and I thought Fat Joe got down. So I thought it was good. If I'm giving it, if I'm going to the source scale, I'm giving it 4 mics.
I can agree with that. I thought it was a good song. At first I thought it was okay. Ran it back, listened again, and I thought it was great. One thing that's underrated about LL, right, is his narrative in his verses. So in his verses, there are also many stories, smaller stories compacted into his verses. That's an underrated storytelling skill that LL has had. Also, his OG-ness in his bars, meaning he raps in a way as if he's trying to, or not trying, but giving the advice to the youth and the rappers after his generation. And that has been an element that I got to give him credit for, because that's been in his bag, and he's good at doing that as well. And for them type of bars to come from LL, great. Who better to know about this game, right? So those are 2 things. Ross ice skated on the beat, you know what I'm saying? He's a known ice skater, you know what I'm saying? So he ice skated. Fat Joe, I have my back against the wall for Fat Joe on here. You know what I mean? But that verse, was clean. You know what I mean? I stain careers like the windows in the churches. Okay, you're talking to him. Crack, Fat Joe, Joey Cartagena. I heard that. You talking to him. Keep doing that because Fat Joe's verses, they do be dope on the low. On the low. So I like the LL song. Like the beat. You know, it's not nothing like it's super crazy. It's not like I'm saying it's super crazy, but it was dope. It was dope. You know?
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear what Q-Tip did on this project. I think, you know, early reports, I think a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago even, it was thought that Q-Tip was going to do the whole LL project. If that's the case, I'm interested to see what him and LL cook up. You know, I know we never got the last Zulu, that Q-Tip project, the last solo Q-Tip project that never came out. But I'm interested to see what Q-Tip does, man. This sounded good. It didn't sound too forced. The hook was okay. You know, I wasn't really feeling the hook like that, but Ross got down. Joe got down. LL's rhyming a little different on here. I'm not used to. I still don't think it's a try hard. I'm not putting him in the try hard category, but he's rhyming a little different. You know, he's trying to get a little bit, you know, gutter with it. You know, he's trying to be a little, drop some jewels in there. You know, so you know, I give him 4 mics. I'm excited about the overall project, and it got me to thinking about LL. You know, where do we put him? You know, he never did a. You know, and there was some folks in the comments like, we got to stop using verses as a barometer. You know, we don't try to do that, but that was something that came about during the pandemic, and people were comparing people's catalogs, and there were conversations on who's LL going to do a verses with. He never did one. But when I think about LL's career, you know, LL Drop came out in 1985, right? With the radio joint. I would say LL's definitely top 25. Hell, you know, from a catalog perspective, you could argue that LL, you know, with all the songs he had, you know, he could be top 15, and it could be argument he might be top just on the longevity factor, man. Being out since 1985, damn near 40 years in this game, you might say he might be top 10. I don't know, man. I came up with a list of, I want people in the chat to tell me, you know, what your favorite LL songs are. I came up with some off the rip. My favorite LL song. I'm not gonna go in order.
Hold on, Ron. But yeah, LL is definitely one of the greats. And when you have a versus is about picking the right songs at the right time. So if I took LL Cool J songs and I picked 20 at the right time, I could win a battle against anybody. So yeah, LL Cool J could be in there. And we got to stop, you know, some of the legends that have been around this long, it's no need to doubt where they're at in their ranking, because if they're great, they got great for a reason, not just because it's Saturday.
I was somebody asked how old was I when LL dropped in 84. I was 2 in 85. So I was 2.
I was 4.
84 I was 1. But
LL's the first record I could remember. In my mind, the first rapper I remember is LL Cool J. That when I came into contact with what is rap, LL Cool J.
Right. Tater Tots 00 with the super chat says last album, LL album, Authentic, was crazy, was fire, crazy, slept on. Yeah, it was cool. Had some cool joints on it. But back to my list, man. And you know, this is not in order. This is not, you know, I'm not ranking them at all, you know, this is just
brother.
My favorite LL songs. I'm going to say, Mama Said Knock You Out.
Okay.
Off the rip, man. I mean, what can I say? I mean, damn. I mean, it was the record was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the record's called Mama Said Knock You Out. The song Mama Said Knock You Out. It's just a crazy record. Another shout out to Marley Marl. Shout out to Marley Marl, because another record I like is Booming System.
Yep.
Booming System. I mean, Booming System is a dope record. I mean, get funky. You know what I'm saying? It's like It's a dope record. Another record I liked from LL, a lot of folks don't know, but this was on the GOAT album. This was Ill Bomb. And I think it was on the Funk Flex DJ Cap mixtape as well. It came out on Def Jam.
Yeah.
I think who did that beat? Damn, who did that beat? Let me look it up real quick. I think it was
I started to say Eric Sermon, but you know,
Eric Sermon didn't do Ill Bomb. Who did Ill Bomb?
Y'all.
Let me pull it up real quick. Ill Bomb.
That was the fire. That was the shit. That was fire.
Ill Bomb, LL Cool J. Who did that? DJ Scratch, I think. Let me check. Who did that beat? Who did it? DJ Scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled it up on my phone. It said DJ Scratch. Fun fact. I made LL Cool J's Ill Bomb beat in 5 minutes. Crazy. So it wasn't a Funk Flex Big Cap album, man. It's crazy record. One of his slept on records, right? All right, Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says crack has never been or pretended to be the most lyrical miracle, but he has an intangible swag and presence on records that most MCs just don't have. And that's what I was saying in my argument. Shout out to Jermaine Johnson. That's what I was saying in my argument about defending Fat Joe. He ain't lyrical miracle, but he got the presence about him when he on them records.
Exactly.
He talked that talk. So I said, Mama said knock you out. I said booming system. I'm gonna take it back old school. I'm gonna say rock the bells. Rock the bells.
Classic.
What more can I say? Rock the bells. You know what I'm saying? That's 80s LL, vintage LL. What can we say about that? All right, what else I got? I'm gonna say one of my favorite L records is 4321. I mean, my young sons fantasize of borrowing flow. It's a little shorty with the big mouth, the bank is closed. The symbol of my arm is off limits to challenges. You swing the rusty swords, I swing the Excalibur. Come on, man. LL, 4321. Great record. Another record that I like Jack the Ripper. This and Kool Moe Dee.
Okay.
You gotta put that in the mix when you talk about diss records of all time, right? What else I got? I like Around the Way Girl. That was on that record too. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the third. That might have been the third single off this joint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I like Around the Way Girl. So I got Mama Said Knock You Out, Booming System, Rock the Bells, 4321, Around the Way Girl. All right, come on, man. Doing it.
Oh yeah, doing it. Yeah, doing it well. Of course, fire, classic.
I mean, I was young when that song came out. I shouldn't have liked that song as much as I did, but I liked it. And that song got me thinking. You know, I was a young boy, but that made me start thinking about things in a different way. And a little known history fact about doing it, Deion Sanders' ex-wife was a video girl. She was the one that was in the bed with LL. You know what I'm saying? So little known history fact.
The hook was fire. And I like the hook on this new LL song though. Always keep your word and always pay him back. Again.
Have you ever heard the DJ like just drop that record? Like, have you ever heard a mix with doing it and they just like cut that record up? Yo, I've heard a lot of Labor Day mix, a lot of Memorial Day weeks. DJs take that record and it's like they drop it like and they just bring it back and they loop it. It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
Them type of records is needed, man. Even though people be like, well, that's soft. We're going to talk about the characterization of songs, right, in music. But people be like, that song. But I just left the Juneteenth celebration at the park. Beautiful women everywhere, just everywhere, right? So what I'm saying is that type of music is necessary. When you drop that type of beat, you know what I mean? And you getting your little 1-2 on, it's necessary. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Ron.
Yo, in my last song out of the 10s, I said Mama Said Knock You Out. I said Rock the Bells. I said Booming System. I said 4321. I said Around the Way Girl. I said Doing It. I got Ill Bomb. I got Jack the Ripper. I got two more. I got I Shot Your Remix. I mean, let's be for real.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I Shot Your Remix is it's the truth. And the last one, I'm gonna say it's a tie. It's not really a tie. I'm gonna take you old school. I'm gonna take you quasi new school, right? I'm gonna say I Need Love by LL, and then I'm gonna say Love You Better. That's one of the Neptunes. Folks might say I'm crazy. Love You Better might be one of the Neptunes' best.
That beat is crazy.
I mean, that beat is like,
that beat is crazy, bro.
Insane. It's like
vacation beat with that. That beat is a vacation with the finest chick in your city.
Love You Better. That beat, man. You can just take the lyrics off. That shit, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy, man. Anthony Perkins with the super chat said LL top 10. If you know, you know. Yo, I don't knock it. There's an argument made for Uncle L, man. Michael Williams with the super chat says Common times Pete Rock, LL times Q-Tip, Nas and Premier OGs are representing heavy this year. On Sway's show, Common said he was inspired by the Nas hit run, and that's that's a fact, man. I think it's good that these OGs, these legends in the game, are inspiring each other to make good music, man. I think it's good. Music is timeless, and I've always made this argument, because I told us on this podcast before. I went to Las Vegas and I saw U2 at the Sphere, right? That new arena in Vegas or whatever. And they've been in the game since the late 70s. So music, it's good that our legends, our guys, our people in hip hop, our OGs like Q-Tip and like my man, what I'm saying, like LL, like Nas, like Jay, like others, what I'm saying, like Common and Pete Rock, they're coming out with new music because music is timeless. And I still think they have things to offer, and I think what we're hearing, from the Nas and Hit Boy run showed us that Nas, you can be in your late 40s and 50s and still make compelling records. And I think
agree with that.
And it's moving now to Common and Pete Rock. Pete Rock with Trying, with Wise Up, you know what I'm saying, and with the new one Dreaming. They're showing you they can make music at an elevated state at this age. Nas and Primo, and now with LL and Q-Tip. So I'm excited for it, man. I want to travel these and give these guys their flowers, interview these guys, and just make it work, bro. So yeah.
But Ron, if it's about the essence, when we talk about Nas and Primo, then I've been hearing some people agitated about Primo doing the beats, but it's about the essence. So it shouldn't be no pushback with Primo, not DJ Premier. Now I said Nas and Primo, the bar would be like Illmatic. That's a little bit too extreme for people. I understand that. So we'll say the bar can be Magic. The bar is Magic, right? But it shouldn't be no pushback to Premier. And again, the antithesis of a Nas and a Premier is people was like pushback against Jay and No ID with Jay showing a more grown side. It was pushback to that. So that's my first example of anti-consciousness against consciousness in hip hop. Go ahead, Ron.
No. Shout out to Christopher Hogan. I did not forget Dog Pound album. Dog Pound album was fire. Another OGs, Daz Dillinger. That song that Primo did on that joint with Snoop, Lady of Rage. I think my man from the East Siders was on there too. You know what I'm saying? And but Daz verse on there was crazy. So shout out to Daz Dillinger, man. That's another OGs that are putting in the work, man. I think Too Short's about to be coming out with some stuff too, man. So yo, we in it, man. I didn't forget radio. I didn't forget Jiggling Baby, Anthony Perkins. I didn't forget. He's got a lot of joints, man. So drop in the chat. What's your favorite LL songs, man? Your top 3.
Another point.
Top 3.
Rakim is coming out too. I hear enough and again, I'm going back to my initial statement when I talked about me making a point about conscious rap and how backpacker rap is framed as some kind of corny thing when it should be a good thing, because you put learning tools in backpacks, and so it should be looked as a good thing. Now, Rakim is coming out with an album. That's an OG as well. My main point is, we'll get to that. Let me slow down because I seen you just put the LL, but that the OGs are definitely doing their thing. So I just wanted to mention Rakim is coming as well. So pause. You know what I mean?
So yeah. Shout out to Rakim. I forgot. I mean, the OGs are doing it. And again, I think this generation of hip hop with Joe, with Rakim, with Nas, with Primo, with Pete Rock, with Common, with Snoop, with Corrupt, with Daz. I think we're getting into an era where we're not looking at this as like these guys are like old. You know, hip hop, they say, is 50 years old. Some argue that it's older than that, but now we're seeing a new generation that's segueing into their 50s and damn near their 60s, and they're gonna rock out until they can't rock out no more. Ghostface dropped an album. I think Raekwon's working on some stuff. So
when I was young, if you were rapping at 25, it was too old. That it was 25 in the 90s. If you were a rapper at 25, they'd be like, "You're too old to rap, bro." Damn. So
really?
Yeah. I mean, I was told that in a label, doing a demo deal, but I wasn't 25. I was 24. You know what I mean? And they were like, "There's not a market for older rappers." So I'm just, that we have changed. Times have changed, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So before we end on this LL note, y'all let me know what y'all think about, your top 3 LL songs. And is he the GOAT? Is he top 10? Where do y'all have LL ranked? I said I got him in the top 25. There's an argument he's top 10. Somebody in the chat said top 15 is laughable. Where y'all got LL at? Where's LL ranking?
LL Cool J is laughable in the top. Some logic I don't get, but okay.
Okay. Curtis 75 Black's in number 1. So where y'all got LL at? Drop it in the chat. Where LL is he top 10? Is he top 15? Is he top 20? Is he top 5?
I can't. How could I argue against top 15 with LL Cool J? Like, the reason why we're all sitting here right now is because somebody made rap cool. And I'm not saying LL did it all by himself, because I know he didn't do it all by himself. But what I'm saying is the reason hip hop is so big is because somebody made rapping cool. Rapping in the 80s, it was corny. Like, people was like, "You rap? That's corny." Now I was too young, but I'm just saying someone had to make rapping cool. So if LL didn't contribute to that, which puts him in the top 15, then I don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, I got LL in the top 15. We're gonna give our rankings one of these days, man, and we're gonna outline them, from 20 to 1. But I mean, you can't. Again, I always say this on this podcast. You can't tell the story of hip hop without telling the story of LL Cool J. I mean, you think about it. He's had hits in the 80s. He's had hits in the 90s. He's had hits in the 2000s, 2010s. And then now in the 2020s, he's got this effort with Q-Tip. So he's almost 40 years in, and he's doing his thing. So shout out to LL. I'm excited. The record, I guess I give it 4 mics on the source scale. And it is what it is, man. So another thing I want to segue into LL. What's your favorite? I mean, before I get off that, what's your favorite LL song?
Before we go on, someone said Fab can compete with Nas lyrically. We're going to speak about, again, an anti-consciousness in conscious rap. So lyrically, there is a Willie Inchism in hip hop that goes on lyrically, which is against technical skill, which I believe because it rings off in people's mind as proper English, is where I think that started. But there's a Willie Lynchism to lyricism that exists within lyricism, which makes it to where if someone like a Kendrick Lamar has a Hebrew Israelite bar, someone will say, well, that's not cool. Well, why is that not cool when you believe the book anyway? Isn't he confirming what you already believe? But I'm just going in today. But my favorite, back to LL, my favorite LL songs. First, I got to start with I'm Bad. Then I got to go to Mama Said Knock You Out. Then I got to going back to Cali. Then I got to go Doing It. I got to go the joint with Boys to Men. I got to go Lounging. I got to go, Imagine That. I got to go L-Bomb. I got to, LL is one of, in recent history, he may not be the most lit person, but LL is still LL Cool J, y'all. He made this cool, man. rapping and, you know, just the whole aesthetic of being a rapper. He made it cool, y'all. So those are songs that off the top of my mind, I think I named about eight of them. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So before we get into the deep conversations, I want to speak about another OG performed on, I think it was 6/12/2024, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's enshrinement into the Patriots Hall of Fame. He did public service announcement. There was some clips going around. People weren't, they had their backs turned. They wasn't really involved in the performance. Jay did his thing, but there's been some criticism going around against Jay, saying that he performed at this, but he didn't perform at the Hip Hop 50 celebrations. What do you think about him performing for his friend Tom Brady, but not performing at the Hip Hop 50 celebrations, or his absence from that? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is the same as people that have pushback on Kendrick performing at Juneteenth, right? But Tom Brady is not someone that Jay should be performing for. My whole thing is this, right? And again, I'm gonna make another point about my fourth point about an anti-consciousness. Whenever you have an articulate MC or person that is speaking, you have an anti-consciousness that say you must be working for the white man, or you're doing the bidding for the white man, or everything you do is to help the white man. I hear that. Now, the secondary to that thought is, when you're in the music industry, you are doing business with tons of people on tons of different levels. Some of the people that you do business with are white. Now, when it comes to business, strictly speaking business, right? When you come to the table of business and a person has their stuff together, should you say, no, I can't do business with you because you're white? I just, if that's how we feel, then fine, that's cool. But we need to start doing better business then, because there are, and people are going to say, well, you're caping. But again, in the music business, you're running around the world doing deals, right? With a multitude of people, right? And sometimes the business makes sense, right? The relationships make sense, the business makes sense, and the deals make sense. So if that person is white on the other side of the table, but the deal makes sense, then it would behoove you to do the deal or do what you got to do. So that's my whole point there. We have this thing to where you must be doing the bidding of the white man. No, actually, I'm doing the bidding of hip hop culture. And in that culture, in business, at multitude of levels, there are other races. So if the business moves make sense, then the business moves make sense. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have no issue with him performing at the Tom Brady, because it's funny. I used to be a Tom Brady hater, but as I got older, I started appreciating Tom Brady's game and kind of where he came from. I think it was the documentary Tom versus Time. Facebook was doing a period where they were trying to do like exclusive content, and they were doing like a whole network, and they had a documentary of Tom versus Time. And I started watching it, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see how this guy prepares, how he studies. And I'm hearing people talk, people I know, people in the league or whatever, tell stories about Tom Brady, and they're like, "Yo, man, he a real cat," So I started appreciating him more, man, and I became a Tom Brady fan. But I had no problems with him performing at the enshrinement or the ceremony. I just think the criticism was that I think LL even had a criticism, like he didn't perform in none of the Hip Hop 50 events. And Jay being, considered one of the goats of in hip hop, maybe he should have done something. I know MC Hammer didn't do anything at the Hip Hop 50 events because he thought that.
But we know Jay is not beefing with hip hop.
So Jay wasn't the only one. I know MC Hammer didn't do anything at Hip Hop 50. I know not. I think Jay came to a few events, but he didn't perform. So I think Jay kind of didn't want to. I don't know why he didn't do it. Some people argue that says he thinks he's above doing things like that. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but
sometimes you're busy too. Sometimes you're busy.
I mean, I think it would have been nice to have Jay perform, but I do see how people say, "Hey, man, it doesn't look. It's not a good look that you did this, but you wouldn't do any of the hip hop 50 celebrations." But
the amount of shows that rappers miss is crazy. That's because they're busy, y'all. Like sometimes people are just busy, and I know, but no, that can't be true. I can tell you firsthand that these artists, especially the hottest ones, are extremely busy, and trying to get them to do something is not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to Tom Brady. I hope maybe I'm tripping. I'm still holding out hope that he might come out. You know what I'm saying?
As far as the white and black thing, though, y'all, when we're talking about hip hop culture, if y'all want to talk about racism, then we can have a discussion about that. But if we're talking about hip hop culture, some of the people in this hip hop culture that happen to be white have been in this culture their whole life, just like we've been in this culture. They have the reputation for doing good business. You can check and see their history of doing good business. So at that point, why make that the bad guy because he's white? I don't understand, and we have to stop always using that as a scapegoat. I get it. I understand it, but it's kind of crazy. It's silly. You know what I mean? It's silly.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. Shout out to Tom Brady. Shout out to Jay-Z, man. Speaking of The Rock, Memphis Bleek, Just Blaze dropped a song on Friday as well. Do-Rag Bleek. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I did.
What was your thoughts on that?
Memphis Bleek, he's dope. And what I would say, and I hope this isn't taken as disrespect. Again, I don't be trying to disrespect artists. That's not in my spirit. But he's held it down. What I want to give him props for is holding it down, right? Sometimes as an MC, a rapper, you are playing hype man or second to or support of another rapper. And this is because you came up in circumstances where that rapper got the position before you got it in the game. So you are there to hold that rapper down, to hold down the brand, to make it something of respect, and to play the background for this other artist, right? And that's to be commended as well, because Memphis Bleek has always been down for Jay. I don't think there is an example of him crossing Jay or dissing Jay or anything like that. So I just got to give him props for that. I do like the song itself. So it was a dope song. And I can remember listening to Memphis Bleek songs back in the day, and they were dope. Oh, go ahead. I wanted to give out another single, but the Memphis Bleek single, I like it. I like overall.
Yo, the song was what I expected from Memphis Bleek. I mean, Memphis Bleek was talking that talk. He's always been like he's an MC, but I always looked at him as like a game spitter. He got that swag, that talk. So I thought it was a cool record. Just Blaze was on the beat. He handled the production. I thought it was cool. It wasn't nothing that that blew me away. But it was. I expected the record to sound like it sounded with Memphis Bleek and Just Blaze.
Just Blaze? I didn't know that. Just Blaze was on the beat. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Just Blaze was on the beat. Somebody said, "Who wants to hear Memphis Bleek?" Memphis Bleek's got a podcast coming out. I don't know the name of it, but he's got a podcast coming out. And I think it might be a good podcast. I'm gonna check it out. I watch podcasts a lot to see what people are doing and see how we can improve ours, and the ones that we're building. We got some other podcasts in the pipeline, kind of see what they're doing and things like that. But it was a cool record. I mean, the video was kind of like a early 2000s video. He had like a rented house in Florida. He had the whips. He had the girls in bikinis at the pool. I mean, it was a throwback rock joint. It ain't nothing I'm a turn up every day, but I mean, it was a cool record, man. It was a cool little vibe.
No, it was a cool vibe, man. I see what he's doing. He's more so like the brand ambassador or brand face of Douce, right? Of the alcohol. So You know, he's moving the alcohol, y'all. But I mean, he's done a good job at holding Jay-Z down, because you know that's not an easy task as being on the rock. And sometimes, you know, coming up and MCs, when they get on, they bring their homies, and their homies become part of the rap crew. So, and they have to learn how to do that, right? Like some of these guys are not rappers. Like they didn't come into it like, I want to make the best rhymes or something. They came in off the street. So.
Yeah, I didn't mean no disrespect. You know, it could be his crib. I don't know if it's rented or not. I mean, I think I wouldn't use my crib for a video. You know, I would rent it. I would Airbnb a crib out. So I didn't mean it as no shade or nothing like that. It's
all right. I think it's all right.
It's all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mean it like that. Shout out to Bleek. Hope we have him on this platform. I'm just saying, you know, they rented cribs back in the day, and they had these like elaborate mansions. Even on MTV Cribs, I heard they was even renting cribs on MTV Cribs. So, you know, he had a rented crib. He had the girls in the pool. You know, it was cool. It was a cool little vibe. You know,
renting cribs. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to rent cribs to go in and make studios in all the different rooms, so you could have artists from that city come in and do songs in all the different rooms, and different producers come in, and that's the moves you got to make.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that. I mean, if I'm doing a music video, if I'm directing a music, I'm gonna rent a crib. I got 4,500 square feet. If I'm gonna rent a crib out, I can do a video here. But I ain't gonna bring people to my crib and do it. I'm gonna rent a place. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Good. Bleek is good, man. Bleek is all right. He's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? But shout out to him. I do like the song, and if he got an album coming that's fire, put it on. We'll see what it is. We'll see what it do.
Yo, we got to add him to the category, the OGs. He's another OG that's coming out. He's coming outside, putting out music, and we gotta give him his props, man. So sure. I don't know, man. I don't know where we want to go next with it, man. We talked about LL, we talked about Bleek.
Shout out to Blue and Evidence, raw, and Blue from Blue in Exile. He has a new song called Lost Angel with Evidence, right? For Blue and Evidence to be doing music together, that is huge for the underground West Coast. And it may sound hyperbolic or whatever when I give my takes or whatever, but my takes are honestly how I feel, for real. And how you feel about Kanye West and Nas. If there was a middle ground between Kanye West and Nas, to me personally, that's Blue. What do I mean by that? I mean, Blue is a producer and rapper, and he's been making music for the last 20 years. So to me personally, his music rings off to my ear as the cross between Kanye West and Nas. So that's all I'm saying. And I have the right to my own opinion on how I hear things, right? So check out Blue's new single with Evidence, Lost Angel. Powerful song, and what that song represents too. Artists that that aren't rich, that aren't famous, that aren't social media famous, that aren't I want to speak for those people, because they deserve their shot as well. You know what I mean? They deserve, because some of them have especially someone like Blue, he's paid his dues with this music thing and dropped off a multitude of classics along the way. So I just want to point out that single as well. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No, shout out to those brothers, man. We're gonna, shout out to them, man. Yeah, man. So, man, we got a lot of new music, man. I was going to talk about, I don't have it queued up, but Scarlett dropped a song on Friday. I don't know if y'all familiar with Scarlett. She's a female MC. I want to say, where is she from? Where is she from? Brooklyn? Or is she from Queens? She's got like a little raspy voice. She dropped a video on Friday. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but hey, right. I'm just trying to show people love that make music. You know what I mean? So shout out to Scarlett. I mean, she's from the Bronx. Right. Yeah, shout out to Scarlett. I mean, it's not my thing, but she's another female MC that's entering her name in the in the hat. Right. I first saw Scarlett on Funk Flex. She did a freestyle, and that's when I first got introduced to her. And I thought she had a different type of sound. I think her energy was really aggressive. It's really masculine energy, but she was rapping about feminine things. Like she was rapping about being with dudes and doing this and that. But it's not my thing. But I just wanted to highlight that she does have some new music out. She dropped a video. I think I read a report saying that she was twerking in the video or something, and people were upset that she was twerking. It was too much for them. I didn't see that part because I only played like the first minute of the video, so I probably didn't get to the twerk part because it was just too much for me. It wasn't too much for me. I just had some other shit to do, and I just couldn't take anymore. But yeah, she got some new music out.
When you got artists like a Scarlett, right, who's coming from a certain circumstance, and I'll dedicate this point to the art school in Baltimore in which Tupac went to and was educated on this art form, right? People scream about, oh, we don't like this and we don't like that, and look at what the white man is doing, right? If you want people to look at these artists, take them in and try to make their music translate in a way that turns their pain into gold, which is the real alchemy that this culture is supposed to be producing, right? Then I'm not going to hate on her or what it is, but we have to think about that as well. Artists go through the system, and the system is an algorithm in itself that tries to produce what is most advantageous for the numbers, right? So what do the numbers say is the most moves the needle the most, right? So instead of dealing with the person that is Scarlett, not in a negative way, but helping her articulate her story and into a way to where the outcome is positive, that takes that is a skill in itself, y'all. And we have to, and part of the anti-consciousness I started the show with is to knock people down that are trying to do that, or knock the artists down instead of helping them give you and mature into the music that you would like to hear from them. So that's one point I want to make. I'm not going to knock down Scarlett for what she does. The song, the song was cool, but again, in this system, people are going to look at what makes sense numbers wise. If we're used to eating fast food for thought, or eating just filth as a plate of music, right? Well, then that's what the machine is gonna pump out. If we want something different from that, then a different approach is going to have to be put forth in front of the artist. And this is serious, y'all, because people are like, well, the artist has a choice with this and that. Well, the artists sign record deals because they're like, well, what else am I going to do, right? I could either sign this deal or not sign this deal and go back to the neighborhood I came from, which is dealing with all the ills that it comes from. So what am I to do, right? So this is serious. What I'm saying is serious, because when that choice hits, when that choice presents itself, again, you have a consciousness and an anti-consciousness. And I'm hoping that someone will help a Scarlett and all of the artists coming, and even a Blue, or all the artists coming for certain circumstances, make a positive, turn that pain into gold. And there needs to be a system in play to help do that.
Right. I think Scarlett should lead the dance, and the other people that are more equipped to do that. I didn't get to that part of the video when she started doing that. I never expected, when I heard it on Funk Flex, for Scarlett to be twerking. That's new to me. But I think, to leave the twerking to the people that can do that, like a Lotto or like a Ice Spice, let them do that. But I think Rhapsody, just be on a serious tip, Rhapsody is the best female in the game right now. But I would think, now, regardless of the twerking, or regardless of how she looks, I think from a talent perspective, who I think could make a dope album if they wanted to. I mean, Nicki did drop a good album. I mean, I'm not going to front on Nicki, but I think that I think out of this new generation of female MCs, I really think Lotto has a lot of talent. And I ain't talking about her talent. I'm talking about just rhyming and her ability to make music and verses. I think she can put together a dope project. I would love to executive produce her album, actually. And I'm not even being funny. I think I can put together a dope album for Lotto. I think.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The thing about Scarlett and Rhapsody, right? With the women that are coming from a certain angle, right? There is some pushback to how they present themselves. And I don't think it's as harsh as the men, because I'm finding with the young artists that they are being pushed into a gangsta marketing when that is not authentically them. But with the females, with Rhapsody, she came in with Ninth Wonder, right? So she had a little bit of a shield into which how she delivers music, you know. So with most cases, they're gonna look at how the female looks, or they're gonna try to market it into something that's kind of like a visual and how to let's fetishize over the look or over the twerking or over the sexually explicit lyrics. And you know, I think that's too bad. You know, I think we should give them more range, or something should be put in place that, you know, helps the women deliver more range.
Right. Michael Williams with a super chat says, if Jay drops another album, what direction do you think he'd go conceptually? And also, what producer would you like to see him lock in with? Let me answer this. I think Jay would go conceptually. I think he would be more of a continuation of 444. I think it would be more about a retrospective of his career. He would be talking about himself as like an OG, trying to give game to the young rappers and to the young people coming up before him, or to his kids, talking about his family. I think that's the direction he would go in. I think so. Again, I think it'll be a continuation of 444, him trying to give guidance to the generation coming after him. Him maybe even talking in the vein of American Gangster, where he's like talking about the pitfalls of the game, you know, things that you can fall into, like seeing how people in this game have rose to the top, how they, you know, they fell out. He can even talk about, you know, inadvertently the Puff stuff, like how you on top 1 minute, and now you down the next,
Right.
how the media changes, where we are in this landscape in 2024 or 2025 when he drops. So I think that'll be from a concept, I think that'll be going. I think it'll be more of a mix between American Gangster and 444. From a producer standpoint, I would like for him, now we never got to see it, but I would like for him, and it will never really happen. I would like to see him work with Kanye again. I think they could do something together. Like, I think Kanye, maybe No ID would be a good producer for him. Who else do I think would be a good producer for him? I think stay away from Timberland. I think that sound won't work. No ID. Maybe something with Conductor. Conductor might be good for him. And then maybe, you know, that sound from Drug Dealers Anonymous might be good. You know what I'm saying? So
there's people working with Conductor for Jay-Z to work with Conductor.
Say that again?
There's too many people working with Conductor for Jay to go over and work with Conductor.
So it have to be Kanye. It'll have to be No ID. It would have to be. I would like to see him work with Alchemist. I would like to see whoever made Drug Dealers Anonymous. I want to see whoever. I don't know who made that beat, but that's more Jay-Z's lane right now.
How could Jay work with like? How does the sound fit? How do those two elements work? Yeah, I don't think that can work. Now it could work if the album is designed on West Coast shows, but Jay's not going to do that because Jay is not.
You don't hear Jay getting off on Black and Whites that what Big Hit and Hit Boy got off on. I think I can hear Jay on that.
On everything, but I think Jay has to do something different every time. I think this leads to the pushback and the Willie Lynch-ism of his lyricism, because he's doing something new as opposed to something old or something from the past. But I think Jay should go into a political realm with his album, right? So with the American Gangster or like The Godfather 2, you got one point where Mike or Corleone is becoming political, right? He's the gangster that worked his way up into the politics. Now, the politics has gangsters too. To get in these rooms, you're dealing with people killers, you're dealing with people that will throw you off a roof. So you got to match that energy with the same power, right? So what does a political gangster look like? But this is one who we know. This is not a politician that we don't. Most of the politicians, we don't know them. We don't know their backstory. Jay, however, is someone that we have been watching and listening since 1996. So we do feel like we kind of know him. I do think, and people will be like, well, and most of hip hop has this attitude of where we don't deal with politics because they're all bad. So everyone in politics is evil. So we can't talk to them because that makes us evil. That's one way of looking at it, right? If you want things to get accomplished, you have to get in the room and be willing to sit down at the table with the other side of what you want to get accomplished. That's another angle. And I think Jay should speak to that angle so the next generation that gets into these rooms could step into them confidently and on behalf of hip hop and rep how they're supposed to rep. You know what I mean? So I think it should be a political angle with what he's doing, man, because that needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? That angle. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I to answer his question, I think you made a good point, Leroy. I think it should be a mix between 444 and American Gangster. Hit Boy. I hear people saying Hit Boy would be a good mix. I think Kanye can get back. I think Kanye is experimenting with like these stadium sounds. So like the last few Kanye projects had these big sounds. Like I think Carnival is a big sounding record, but if you listen to like a record like Burn,
right,
he can tap into Kanye can tap into that old sound for Jay. He can tap into that. But
I don't think Jay should chase fame anymore, because why would you want to be more famous? And Kanye, I'm not saying he's chasing fame. What I'm saying is sonically, I think his sonics are about pulling in a mass audience. So I'm saying his sonically, musically, it is chasing the mass audience. I think Jay to go after a mass audience is a waste of his time, because why would Jay-Z need a mass audience?
I think the phase, the way he's at in his life, I don't think he's looking for a mass audience. I think he's just looking to create art. I think he's in artistic mode. He's artistic Jay right now. He ain't trying. I know Mike on a couple pods ago said what was the term that Mike used? He was like, damn, I don't want to misquote him.
He's talking about the hits, which I understand.
Mike said something was like, Mike used the term. It was like, it was more, I forgot the term that Mike used, but
okay.
I don't think that Jay's in that mode right now. Jay is in an artistic mode.
Artistic mode. That's the best mode. When you're making music to where you don't have to worry about anything, like Lupe is free now. He's making music to where it doesn't matter anymore what anyone thinks. That's the best phase to be in. You know what I mean? So it's like if Jay can make music and it doesn't matter whether it flops or not, that's great. Because now he can just make music on what he feels. Like if it flops, it's cool. I'm still doing all right. I'm okay. So that's why, and I'm just talking sonically. I'm not talking about Kanye doing any moves outside of music, but his music is pulling in stadiums, like you're saying. And I think Jay has already done stadiums. He's already done the most famous things you could do. So I don't need to see him do that again.
I mean, I would like to see it. I think it would be a nice fitting bow to end it, not end a career. If he doesn't want to end his career, I'm not saying he needs to end his career, but I'm saying it'll be a nice way to go out. I think 444 left a lot to be desired from people. I thought it was a cool project. I don't think it was his best work, but I liked it. I thought it left a
lot to be desired. I agree with that.
I see where he was trying to go with it, but yeah, I want to see another Jay-Z album, man.
The artistic side, when means music still needs to be listenable. The artistic side of it, of someone that is high talent. When we're talking about Jay-Z, we're not talking about just some guy, just a regular rapper, right? We're talking about a high level artist. So what is not listenable to you, or what people think is not good, that's okay for Jay. Like if Jay makes what you think is not good, that's okay, y'all, because he's Jay-Z, right? That doesn't mean that I'm going to force you to say this is good or you have to like this. I'm saying it's okay for you to not like Jay-Z music anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's like we are all familiar with Jay. We have the classics if you want to go back to the classics. So it's okay for Jay to experiment, for Jay to make music that's not geared into, I hope that you like me. It doesn't really have to be that anymore. You know what I mean?
Right,
Nas on the same thing. Like Nas with his work with Primo, if you don't like Nas and Primo, that's okay. Like it's okay to not like Nas and Primo. Like they don't need you to like them or comment. Not they would hope that you like them. They hope that, but it's not a requirement. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So we talked about a shout out to Michael Williams for the Michael Williams for the conversation on Jay. So where we want to go next with it, Leroy? What you want to talk about, bro?
I got off my points, but again, like I started the show for a particular reason. Last week's show that was rough for me, and it's funny now, it's laughable now, but just I have to protect the integrity behind any notion that I would be tearing down a legend, right? And this is why instead of coming on attack mode, I'm coming on build mode, right? Because that's what you do in these situations. So, like I do think there is a pushback to certain things. Your Brenda's Got a Baby is my retrospect for life, right? So your Keep Your Head Up is my The Light. Your there are different things that your Live and Die in LA is my Shy City Kingdom or whatever. You know what I mean? So there are ways we can go with this, but bigging up one person can't be always deemed as disrespecting another person. And I view that sentiment and that point of looking at things as anti-consciousness. And is why someone like a Common who has the backpacker aesthetic, why that's looked at as a bad thing, right? Why would African medallions, backpacks, natural hair, knowledge, why would those be bad things? You know what I mean? Why would Kendrick performing at Juneteenth with his Hebrew Israelite bars be a bad thing to Black people to see and hear if you already agree with that at your core anyway? This has to do with the anti-consciousness. And again, if you have consciousness, you have the anti to that. There was a great story written about that back in the day, and it dealt with a group that was leaving with Pharaoh's army chasing them. The group that was leaving was new information. The group that was chasing them was the foundational information. So that's the struggle in that story, right? So what I'm saying is that is the anti-consciousness that I think exists with backpacker music, right? With situations that could grow into other things, like Lupe fighting Atlantic for his music, or like how we receive music from new artists like Ice Spice or a Scarlet. So I just wanted to speak to that. You know what I mean? And I think I did that. I could just peel back the layers of that, because it's been a few days I've been thinking about this. But we need to, when we come across information that we know we agree with in our heart, we know we agree with, and even if we don't agree with, for you to try to tear down something that presents itself as conscious only because you don't like it's too woke, or or you need to go back to sleep, or that is self-sabotage to the culture. Because later, after complaining about the white man this, the white man that, where is the Black-owned hip-hop institutions? Well, after all the tearing down you've done, when you see the Black guy pop up, you're gonna tear him down too. Because you, after tearing down the white guy, you gonna tear down the Black guy just as much as you tear down the white guy. You know what I mean? And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. That's all. I can't hear you.
The only thing I'll push back on you on, Leroy, is that I don't think we were doing that. At least Mike and I weren't doing that, on the last show. I think we were just talking really about the music. I big up Common all the time. I think Common is dope. I was bigging up Pete Rock and Common's project. And I think we did a show maybe about a month or so ago where we went through Common's catalog and we kind of gave him his flowers. So I don't think we dig and we not consciousness. I think consciousness has everybody's got some conscious lyrics. I mean, even Kodak Black, got some conscious records. You know what I'm saying? So consciousness is woven in the fabric of hip hop. It's always been a part of hip hop from African Bambaataa to X-Clan to Brand Nubian to Common to Diggable Planets to De La Soul to Queen Latifah, even Naughty by Nature made some conscious rap, and Pac made some conscious rap. I just think people were saying like, I just misinterpreted what you were saying. I don't think you don't like Tupac. I don't think you hate Tupac. I don't think you discredit Tupac's music. I just think a comment you made was, I think when people are saying is, you said that he made music just for the hitters and for the gangsters, and I think he was more nuanced than that. And I think that might have got lost in translation of what you were trying to say.
I think people should know that I'm intelligent enough to know that Tupac wasn't an all negative human being. Now I repeatedly was saying that I agree with Tupac's greatness, but people didn't hear that. But for people to think that I think Tupac is a terrible person I think that they should know better than that. You know what I mean? But the one pushback that I have on Mike's point when he was saying, well, this is non-emotional, I was saying, how many of us can remember where we were when we heard that Tupac died? If you can remember where you were, who you were with, how you felt, if you shed a tear over the man, well, then you are emotionally connected to the music. And we need to be clear about that. And that's one point that I have to make. This non-emotional standpoint that we take with music, I think with some artists we are emotionally connected. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't remember where I was when Pac died, but I remember when Biggie, my grandfather actually told me that Biggie died. He was like, because he didn't really know about hip hop like that, and he was like, you know that rapper Notorious B.I.G.? He walked in.
I don't think you guys were dissing conscious rap. No.
So my grandfather, he told me that Biggie died, and he was like, yo, he didn't really know about hip hop. He was old. He was like, yo, you know that rapper Notorious B.I.G.? I was like, yeah, Pop, I know him. He was like, I was like, what? And I was sad the whole damn day because I was listening to I think Hypnotize wasn't out yet, I don't think, but I was listening to Players Anthem. I was listening to all the Junior Mafia stuff. I was big on Big, man, and
of course
that had me shook, bro. It had me shook. I
was big on Pac, and I was sad when Biggie died. So what do you do when you're sad on both ends? You know what I mean?
I've been sad so many times in hip hop, and it's just so sad, man. I was a big. I was rooting for this guy so big, man. I was when Pop Smoke got killed, man. I was, because I remember 50 was tapped into Pop, and so I started digging into Pop Smoke and like Falls, and I was like, I saw he went to London and he was working with Quavo, and I saw what Pop was doing, and people were like really. When he went to London, he was like on some rock star shit, man. People were going crazy when Pop Smoke was out there, and he died shortly after, man. And that messed me up for a while, man, because he was young, and I thought he had next.
I felt that way about Nipsey. Strongly about Nipsey, and I felt like Nipsey. Mike also asked, and I love Mike. None of this is a diss to Mike. I'm just answering some of the things that the questions that he posed, right? So he said, who is contributing to what Pac left behind? Nipsey rings a bell for me. Kendrick rings a bell for me. Pac's last album cover had the symbology of him on a cross. Kendrick had the crown of thorns, which is symbology to the cross. The cross, which people take issue with them doing that. Why would you take issue with black men using that symbology when that means carry the cross? It just means carry the cross. What is the cross? It means whatever mission that you're trying to get across in this life, it's like carrying your cross, right? You carry the good with that, you carry the bad with that. So why the pushback? Why the pushback against against people that carry these crosses? You know, when Nipsey died, it was one thing. When Nipsey was alive, I was champion Nipsey, and people wasn't trying to hear what I was saying. Now, I'm not gonna act like I'm upset about that because I understand, but it's like sometimes these people are still alive, and we need to recognize, and recognizing one person doesn't diminish another. But if we're so that's one point. You know what I mean? That's one point. But if we're going to talk about musically, someone like Common Sense could have that musical discussion. But how you felt about Pop Smoke about Nipsey?
Well, before we get into that, I just want to just give my remembrance to people that passed. But I will say before we'll get into this in a minute. I don't think that Kendrick is comparable to Tupac's musically. I don't think he's comparable to Tupac. But we'll get into that after this. But I was sad when Biggie died. I was sad when Pac died. Hell, I was sad when Easy died, man, because I liked Easy, man. I thought the Easy, I was sad when ODB died. I was sad when y'all might not even know this guy. He was a Southern rapper. Camouflage died. I was sad when Camouflage died. I was sad when Soulja Slim died. I was sad when Mac Miller died.
When Mac Miller died, again,
I was sad when Prodigy died, man. I was sad, man. I was sad when Guru died. I was sad. I was sad when Biz Marquee died. I mean, it's just a sad thing, man. And even when his music was dark, and I think sometimes you can wish death upon yourself. And I ain't saying that that's what happened in this case, but XXXTentacion, man, he died, man. I think he had a lot of darkness around him, man. But yeah, when Mac Miller died, ODB died, Guru, Prodigy, DMX. I was sad when DMX died because I remember DMX his energy when he came out in '97. Well, he came out before that. I think he came out in '93 with Born Loser. He was signed. I think he was signed to Universal or Capitol. That was his first record. But I remember, him dying like that, and kind of unexpectedly. He had a battle with drugs. But DMX. That saddened me.
Let me be clear about where my statements are coming from tonight. Why would I be saying the things that I'm saying tonight, and why do I take certain stances on the decorum in these chats and how we talk to each other, right? And first, bigging up Nipsey is not disrespect to Pac. We can big up one man and still have respect for two men at the same time. But where I'm going with this is speaking death upon yourself, right? And I'm sure everybody has done that at some point, right? I was just helping an artist who is in a wheelchair now because of gun violence, and he wanted help with his metaphors. And I helped him with his metaphors. He went on the platform that he wanted to go on. He did his 1-2, killed it. Super dope freestyle, right? He's bombing up, but he's in a wheelchair, right? Because of gun violence. So I meet with a lot of these children that come from circumstances, and they are rapping in a way that may subject them into more harm outside, right? So the purpose of my conversation tonight and why I'm talking like this is because I do think it's important to steer in a new direction based on preventative measures that keep people from dying. So let's just be clear. And that's not a blame to nobody. That's not a blame to Nipsey's situation. That's not a blame to Tupac. That's not a blame to Biggie. That's not a blame to nobody. That's just because I just want a new direction so students don't feel like, look, I'm really conscious, but I got to rap this way because I got to put my consciousness in a thug motif so I can be accepted by my culture. That's how they feel. And I don't want that anymore for them. And that's not a disrespect to nobody. That's respect for the culture. You know what I mean?
Right. But yeah, man, shout out to Pac's birthday. When's Pac's birthday? 6/16? I think his Pac's birthday is tomorrow, I think. Let me see.
Shout out Pac.
I might do a special show about Pac. Yeah, June 16, 1971. He would have been 53 years old tomorrow, man. Pac was one of a kind, man. He had so many records, man. My favorite record from Pac was on All Eyes on Me was Life Goes On. I think that record right there was I think I listened to that record. I have a habit of repeating records, having this shit on repeat. I think I listened to that song about 15 times in a row one day, just randomly, right? Yeah, I mean, Life Goes On was just like, it was just like, even like the girls singing, it was West Coast, but it was like, rest in peace, Sean, he is a heaven for a G. Be alive to the sun, never thought of death would be the last ones left. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a real record, man. And
Pac was well educated. beyond the education, just how he grew up in the community he grew up with, right? Panthers as his mother, right? As the people around him, his stepfather, as his father, as the people around him, but then the other children around him too that are also the offspring of other Panthers. So that's one degree of Pac, right? So this goes into the range that he shows. When he goes to the Baltimore School of Arts and learns the theatrical genius of Shakespeare writing, right? Shakespeare deals with universal themes and then fleshes them out in story form and theatrics. When he learns of this, right, it enhances the gifts that Pac already has within him. So this is why I have to stand on the integrity of education in hip hop, right? Because it can produce a Tupac who has the wherewithal to have a balance, right? So Tupac as that as well. He created, classic songs that deal with a multitude of layered writing that also segued into his acting ability and to be able to act out not just the music, but act out the characters behind the music. That is a skill, y'all. And that is what needs to be in hip hop. It needs to be studied at that level because it can produce a Tupac. So nothing I say can ever be a diss. And I'm disappointed that people would go so far as to think at the notion of dissing Tupac is ridiculous. But if that's whatever. But no, Tupac was great at a balance, at showing both sides of, and that's needed when we talk about the gangsterism in our music or the circumstances of our music. What's never talked about is the circumstances that lead to the violence. Just like in a courtroom, when they have the killer in the courtroom and they say, look at this terrible killer. They never talk about the circumstances that made this man a killer. Now that don't excuse the killing, but what I'm saying is the whole story paints a picture to where we can now address the roots of the ills of society. And Tupac was able to put that in music to where now we can address the root causes of some of the ills and negativity in America. So of course I appreciate that. Legendary.
What's crazy? When I was younger, I would argue folks all day that Biggie was better than Pac. But as I got older, that totally flipped. Like I listen to more Pac records now that I'm older, and I believe that Pac is a greater, artist than Biggie. Biggie from a bar for bar flow perspective, Biggie was dope. But as I get older and as I listen to more Pac music. Another thing that's kind of weird that you might get a kick out of this, it's really, really weird. I was big on Jay. Like when I was in 7th grade, I was telling people that Jay was going to be the biggest rapper of all time. And people thought I was crazy. Like this, this guy's rapping with Foxy. How the hell is he going to be the biggest? But I knew, I just had a knack of knowing who the next things are. I knew that Kanye West was going to blow. When I heard him on V103, he came up on a radio run with Talib Kweli. And I went to his first show with John Legend here in Atlanta, and I knew Kanye was going to be what he was, and I just saw it. But it's kind of weird, man. So I listen to more Pac now than I do Big, and I think I moved Pac ahead of Big. And you're gonna think this is wild, and the chat's gonna think this is wild. I listen to more 50 Cent than I do Jay now, and that's just wild, man. I don't know. I guess when I go to work or when I'm driving, I'm driving in my car. 50, his mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? I just listen to more 50 than I do Jay. I just think it's odd. I'm not saying that 50 is better than Jay. I'm not saying that, but I just listen to 50 more. And I listen to Pac more than I listen to Big.
Here's my thing with Pac, right? Pac and Big and Jay and 50. When Pac was out, Pac reminded me of someone that I may know. Now, I didn't know Pac, but what I'm saying is, just how he carried himself, it reminded me of someone I may know. So when I listened to Pac, I was concerned for his life. So whenever I listened to Pac, I would get worried. I would get worried that something would happen to him, right? So when it came to Big, at the same time, I was big into mafia movies. So when I heard Big, and his storytelling with a mafia edge, it made me think of, the classic mafia movies. So at that time, I kind of swing more to Big, only because, again, when I listened to Pac, I used to get worried, like something could happen to him, right? And because I like Pac, I love Pac music, so it created worry for me. With Jay and 50, I just never, so I never compared Pac and Big is the moral to it, because I didn't see the crossing of comparison, right? So I never compared Big and 50 because Jay came off to me as the hustler and 50 was the shooter. So the hustler and the shooter, them two, they rarely cross at Jay's level of a hustler. You know what I mean? So I never compared the two because I don't see the crossing. Now and that's why I don't compare. People be like, you need to compare more, but I compare two things that have a crossing. If you don't have a crossing, I don't compare. You know what I mean? That's just me. Maybe I'm tripping.
No, you ain't tripping. You ain't tripping. But yeah, man. It's just a crazy situation, man. I'm just, as I get older, my views on music change and my taste of music changes, man. Still got love for Big, but it's just listen to Pac more, man. And I listen to 50 more, and I listen to Common more, and I listen to Kanye. I still listen to Kanye. I ain't changed on that, man. But I've been going back and listening to old NWA records. Public Enemy I listen to a lot.
Kanye, though, you made a point about Kanye, and again, all that I've said about Tupac, it draws out in an emotional connection. Now, whether you believe that's true or not is on you, but a lot of you have had an emotional connection to Pac's music. So when you try to deny that now, like, no, I don't, I'm not emotional about Pac. I only care about the music. Well, if that's true, then we have to go into the musical debate. If we go into the musical debate, Kanye gave Common some dope shit. So if we go into the music debate, you mean to tell me none of them beats that Kanye gave Common was better than Pac's? None of the beats that Jay Dilla gave Common was better? None of the beats that Pharrell gave him was better? None of the beats that Questlove or Kareem Biggums or Robert Glasper, or none of these beats were ever better than Pac's beats?
No, I ain't saying the beats weren't better, but I'm just saying, the song's better.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, part of the song is the beat,
but it's the song and the rhymes. It's like it's a mix, right?
Common is a serious MC, y'all. So if we're gonna go rhymes, Common is okay in that area. He's fine. Right. You know what I mean?
So I mean, like something like To Live and Die in L.A., to Brenda's Got a Baby, To Keep Your Head Up, to Holla If You Hear Me, Trapped. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these records, man, Ambitions of a Rider. You know what I'm saying?
World, I Used to Love Her. The quote, 1999.
I'm saying, can you see the Pride and the Panther? Things like, I mean,
Panther, Glory, Pac. I mean, the Common and Panther. I mean, Common.
Well, let's just do this. Let's just let
the same character of consciousness, Pac consciousness, Common consciousness.
Let's just do it on Rumble, man. Let's do it next week on Rumble, man. Let's do Common, Common v Pac, and let's just go. Let's do 20. Shit, you want to do 20 or 25 songs?
I'm down for whatever, but the reason why I really didn't want to do it, because it seems like I'm out to try to dismantle or disrespect Pac. It could never be the case. If we're talking about music, because you said it's just music, well, then that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm just talking about music.
Let's take Pac out of it. Let's take Pac. Who you got? You got Kendrick or Common?
I mean, I gotta go Common over Kendrick. My whole point with the Kendrick thing is we all have come to the conclusion that we don't have a better choice for who's leading this generation of rappers. And because I asked specifically everyone to give me other rappers, and nobody had another choice other than Kendrick. So if it's about Kendrick, I'm not saying he's just like Pac or as good as Pac, but I am saying that his music carries the same spirit. When I see people standing again and again against the anti-consciousness out there, you know what I mean? When I see people standing in front of a line of police and police dogs and and police in riot gear, and they're playing "We're Gonna Be All Right," that spirit in the music that's telling them they're gonna be all right, that's Pac-like. That's Pac-like, and Kendrick carried that into the music.
Nah, I can't co-sign on that, man. I know people in the chat gonna probably hate me on this, but I don't think there's any comparison between Pac and Kendrick. I just don't see it.
Right.
It's not that I don't see it, I just don't hear it.
Right. I know you may not hear it.
I went back and I listened, like, see what I'm saying? Because Pac stuff sounded real. I mean, I can't. People are gonna be like, I'm not really digging deep into my argument. I'm not, but it's just like I can't. It's hard to talk about music in a way that's like academic and.
I'm from your era. I'm from the same era. I get it.
We're moving from era. Like my kids, they like Prince and Michael Jackson music. They're 4 years old and 7. Music is timeless. I always say this again. Music is timeless. Right. When I listen to Pac on that mic. And I listen to Kendrick, I hear two different perspectives. I hear two different, one person speaks to me, and it don't matter if I was born back then or my daughter. And when I hear Kendrick, I hear two different human beings. I'm not saying one is bad, one is good, but I just like what Pac is saying. I can understand that more than what Kendrick is doing. So I can't compare the two. You know what I mean? It's just...
I agree, but I'm saying that same spirit that is in Pac's music galvanized the people to play Kendrick's music. Now, people are going to say that is plant-like. I take issue with that because you're saying everybody that supports Kendrick was hired by the government. Okay, I know you're not saying that, so it's like, but no, I don't think they sound the same. But I think that spirit in the music is the same. Just like with Common Sense, I think that spirit in the music is the same. Just like with Nas, I think that spirit is the same. Or, a lot of the greats. So
Donnie Draco, man, Draco, man, yo, that's not true. When I was 4 years old, I was listening to Doves Cry. So now, years later, my kids like 1999. They like Lady Cab Driver. I'm not playing like, the crazy, like Take Me With You. Or The Beautiful Ones, and I Would Die For You, and Diamonds and Pearls, and The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. And
there was another thing about Pac too.
So my kids like their music, but they do.
What Pac was on what? There was some interlinking between Interscope and Pac, right? Or Jimmy Iovine or something. Jimmy Iovine is behind Kendrick, and Pac was signed to a label as well. I got to go back and look it up. But what I'm saying is, people have a foul taste in their mouth about these certain contractual things, but sometimes an artist got to do what they got to do. And that's also another parallel too. People be like, well, Kendrick is a plant because he's working for the white man because the white man owns the record companies. Okay, so let's go down to LA and try to establish our record company. Well, when we try to do that, they're going to say, well, no, you can't do that because you don't have the power to do that. Well, which one is it going to be? Because you're going to keep saying the white man, but we're not going to go down there and set up our own institution because you're going to keep knocking the person that's trying to set up institution, until they can't do it. Once you know what I mean? So it's like, we got to pick a side of the fence to be on, y'all. I do not believe Kendrick is a plant because from my view, I watched Kendrick put out those mixtapes and nobody give a damn. And I watched him keep going. I watched him keep uploading songs and nobody give a damn. I watched him keep uploading freestyles. Nobody gave a fuck. So the time when people start giving a fuck, now he's a plant. I disagree with that. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if he's I wouldn't say that. I'm not putting that on the brother. I've never done that. I've never put that on that brother. I'm just saying the music, when we start putting him in these conversations as being the greatest of all time, or people say he's made the best album in the last 20 years, or he's a Billboard saying he's the #2 rapper in the history of hip hop.
Right.
that's when I push back and I say, well, let's take a step back here. Or people trying to compare him to Tupac Shakur, or people say he has a better catalog than Common. That's when I push back and say, man, let's just take a step back here and say, listen, man, why are we saying this? Number one,
I get it.
Who is writing? Who's determining this? And
Right.
And then third, is this really, really true? If we go song for song, bar for bar, can we really say that Common has a better catalog than Common? And Ghost says, and people excoriate me in the comments saying that I'm a hater, that I'm a clown, all this type of shit. But it don't really bother me because I'm just asking questions. And
I agree.
I use this platform to ask questions. Can we honestly say that Kendrick is better than Tupac Shakur? And I just don't think that's true. I just don't think he has a better catalog than Common.
I agree with what you're saying.
They have a better common catalog than Ghostface, or damn sure doesn't have a better catalog than Nas. When people say that Get Kid, Mad City is this generation's Illmatic, I'm like, how can we even compare the two? They're not even the true. And if you really go back and listen to Good Kid, Mad City, you're really saying that Kendrick is rhyming. His raps are like Illmatic's rap, Nas bars. It's just not true.
Ron, when you were at a record label in the 90s, the labels really don't know what's going to work because rap is still new, so they don't know what's going to work. They're like, just go in the studio and make what feels good to you. That was the goal. Because how would we know what works in the 90s? Kendrick comes out in the 2010s. Now when he gets to a label, the label showing him numbers. Look, this shows on our stats here that people like rhythm, they like melody, they like hooks, they like consistent melodic certain frequencies, and this is what the data is showing. Now, Pac, I don't know if people were coming up to Pac like, hey, this is what the data is showing on what the people are buying, what they like, so these are two different musicalities, y'all. And people are gonna say, well, that's an excuse, but we can look at the numbers ourselves and figure out why Blue is not who we're looking at in Kendrick's spot and why we're looking at Kendrick. Because, like I said, the way y'all are looking at Kanye and Nas is how I look at Blue, being from the West Coast. So I think Kendrick was faced with a different era, y'all, where it was about the musicality wasn't just strictly about bar, 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 like it was in the 90s. Because in the 90s, they were like, do what you feel.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I just want to get that clear, man, because it's just, I just don't understand. I think it's a media driven, and I think Interscope is a very powerful record label. I mean, they're responsible for Shady Aftermath, right. Eminem, 50, Kendrick. I mean, I think they put out Pac's records too, Snoop. So Interscope really defined the culture for damn near 30, 40 years. So I understand, and we got friends in the media at all these magazine publications to make you believe that these people could be greater than what they are. But I just think it's disingenuous. I can't lie to the people on this platform or anybody, to my daughter, to my kids, and say, and I'm just gonna give my opinion. And if they like it, I'm not gonna force my opinion on anybody. If you want to say that Good Kid, Mad City is the best album that came out in 20 years, then that's your God-given right, and then you can argue that and defend that. But I have a right to defend my position, and I don't think that's the case. And I'm not really feeling this dude's music like that, and it's okay. And it doesn't make me ignorant. It doesn't make me detached. I'm good to go to LA. Somebody said I can't go to LA. I'm good. I've been in LA several times. I'm straight, and I say what I gotta say that I'm saying on this podcast there, and it's all love. Shout out to my people in LA. I'm just not feeling it. I just don't subscribe to the notion that that what Billboard says he's a number 2 MC of all time. I don't subscribe to that notion. I'm sorry.
What are we gonna do? Again, folks, we cannot just win arguments with opinions anymore. Now we have to win with data and facts, right? Now, I'm not diminishing opinions, but we have to make sure that we do both, that our opinions line up with fact, right? So when the labels come in, they're going to say, well, the reason we feel this way about Kendrick is because it's a fact that his music is moving. So they're going to hit you with a fact. We're going to hit them with opinion. And see, that is where we're going to lose, because they're going to have facts. So it's like we can have all the opinions we want to have, but it's time to start thinking how we can come up with ways that produce results that are fact-based, because they're going to say, well, you don't have to like Kendrick, but his music says the people do, and we have the data to prove it. You know what I mean? So I understand what people are saying, and I get that. Let's come up with a way that artists can come on and do their thing, and we could support that. And then when people say, well, people ain't feeling this, we could hit them with a fact. Like, no, this music is moving, and we could show you. Because that's what the labels have over us. And I'm not saying they're better than us. What I am saying is that they are more, they were more willing to admit that they don't have all the answers. And so they're going to rely on data, because they're going to say, well, maybe we don't know everything about hip hop, but the data indicates and shows this. So I'm not saying we have to turn into computer nerds, but what I am saying is we have to start being very specific and particular about how we talk about this music and what it should do, what it's not doing, and who's better than who, because the label is looking at it as, yeah, we know that you think this guy's not that good, but the facts say this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. You know, what do you think about you had some comments about Juneteenth. What were your thoughts on the holiday, and then what are your thoughts on the show next week?
Should I put on my dashiki? Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, I was joking about the Juneteenth thing, but I was just saying that, you know, there's an anti-consciousness, and that pushback to Kendrick, and I'm not saying it's you doing that. I'm not saying it's us doing that, but I'm saying people should want Kendrick to perform at a Juneteenth, right? That's a black man performing at a Juneteenth. We know what Juneteenth was about. There's a history even beyond Juneteenth, because even after we were told we were free, we were told other things as well that ended us back on the plantation or behind bars. So, but Kendrick should be there, and the fact that I believe that people have a disdain when they hear something that is true as well. When Kendrick's music comes on, whether you like it or not, it rings off as true. What he's saying is the reality, and it's the ugly reality, because he's dealing with multi-generational ills of the community, right? And people hear that and they know it's true. So, and they have an anti-conscious response to that, and that's what I take issue with anyone, you know, who is and if you don't like Kendrick's music, that's fine, but to then go into what he represents or what he's doing and not doing, or what this bar is to that bar, it's like, bro, he believes the same thing you believe. If he's kicking a Hebrew Israelite bar and you're studying your Bible every night before you say your last prayer, what is the difference? What is the difference?
Right. Yeah, I just, you know, I've got, you know, mixed feelings about it. I think sometimes I think it could be a record label play to play. I know Walmart was selling Juneteenth blankets and cups, and
of course,
so maybe putting out an artist, you know, doing for Juneteenth could be pandering a little bit. I'm not saying it is, but I mean, it's just
they're designed to make money. These companies are in position to make money. Now we get upset about that, but we could go make money too off these holidays. And I just seen food trucks out there. My homies out there buying off the black-owned food trucks and stuff like that, right? But we could make money out there too. So it's like we got to stop thinking it's just them trying to capitalize on stuff when we could capitalize it off it too. And it's like it's all America, right? We're all playing an American chase for the mighty dollar game, right? So that's what they're going to do. If they're going to do that, they're going to do that. Now, if you think they're using Kendrick to do that, maybe you could think that. But we do know Kendrick is authentically from Compton. He's an authentically a black man. His music speaks to an authentic story of the streets in Black America. So, I mean, it's not like they put Jack Harlow up there and said, "Okay, now you represent Juneteenth." That's not what they did. You know what I mean?
You know, I mean, I don't have much to say on the topic. I just,
I'm not. I hear you though. I hear, because I've heard it for a long time, and what I'm hearing is a skepticism coming from our people into a distrust of the establishment, in which I can understand that. The distrust that you have in the entertainment industry of America as it relates to Black people, our music, how we're perceived, and what goes on. You distrust that, and I can understand that. You know what I mean?
I do. I just trust it because I just don't know where it's coming from, and I hate that. Right. I hate for our people to be used into something that's not genuine. And that's been going on for centuries, right? They've always used us to push agendas and things like that. That's why I'm not, Mike used the word. That's why I got, a lot of pushback. Some people in the comments called me all types of crazy shit, saying I was off base. Mike said it's going to be so epic that he's going to be performing on Juneteenth. I say, really, is it epic or is it strategic? Is it a bigger purpose behind it? So I just have questions, and I always ask questions about things that appear on the surface to be good for us.
And people are like, is this a rollout? Well, everything is a rollout, y'all. And not all the time, but when we talk about an artist that delivers music, right? If he rolls out music or he's using something to roll out music, well, I mean, that's kind of his job too, because he's an artist. So I know that people may, well, you don't need to roll it out now, or you could do it later or before, but he's an artist. That's what artists do. They use anything that they think is going to generate some attention, they'll use it. You know what I mean? As I guess you would do in business as well. Not you, Ron, personally, but I'm just saying us as businessmen or anybody in business, you're going to use whatever you can to bring in the eyes and ears, right? So that's what they do. They're in the business of making money, y'all. And we should be paying attention to that, because instead of pointing the finger like, oh, we hate this guy, we hate these people, we should learn how to make $1 million, right? As an artist, right? Because we're going to keep pointing at the machine. Well, we don't trust them, we hate them. But the reason why artists go there is because they're saying, okay, I'm an artist. How can I make $1 million? Well, then someone answers them. When they go to the label, someone sits down, shows them a plan, shows them a detailed oriented structure on how to make $1 million or $1 million plus. I'm just throwing that number out just to make the argument, right? But they show them a plan, right? A plan that's not based in fuckery. It's based in reality of being real. So we need to learn how to do that as well, right? So we can approach artists and be like, let's do it this way, and you're going to still make the millions you would have made with a major anyway. That's all.
Right. Lyndon in the chat saying I support Kanye, man. But Kanye, we're all nuanced people, man. A lot of things that Kanye does, I don't agree with what anybody does 100%. But right. Kanye's been speaking a lot of stuff. You listen to, I think, that song on Graduation, I think was one he did with Primo, Everything I'm Not Makes Me Everything I Am. He said, I know I hate to rap this, but I got the facts to back this. Last year's Chicago scene, over 600 caskets. Man, killing some whack shit. Man, I guess it was the niggas just rapping. I seen somebody change over his change off Ashland. Somebody call a pastor. I mean, he be talking. I mean, Kanye's been talking about, black social things for a lot. And now this new Kanye, he might be deviating to some other stuff. But Kanye's always had a perspective and had his pulse on the community, man. So, I mean, we're all nuanced people. We all nuanced people. We all got flaws. We all got demons that we got to deal with. But Kanye just spoke to our existence and from College Dropouts. I can't, I mean, I don't agree with everything that Kanye West does or says, but to say that Kanye West ain't really spoke on some things that we've been going through, that's not totally accurate.
I wouldn't say Kanye hasn't spoke on them things, but Kanye himself called himself fake. He said, I was faking when I was presenting myself as a backpacker. He said that was fake. So if you're calling yourself fake, then But I hear what you're saying.
And Lyndon, I'm not shitting on Kendrick. I'm just saying I just think that some of the I'm never shitting on Kendrick. I don't know the brother. I would like to talk to the brother.
Kanye said that.
And sit down with him. I don't know Kendrick. And I don't have opinions on people I've never met or don't know. So I don't know Kendrick. I would like to sit down and talk. I just think that the Juneteenth thing is cool. Maybe it's a genuine thing, but I think maybe Interscope and the people behind. I've met Jimmy Iovine. I've met the people in Interscope. I would tell you that these people are not the best people, and they may have some nefarious purposes, and I think they may be using our brother to achieve a different end. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm agreeing with you, Ron. I'm agreeing with you, but Kanye said he was faking, not Kendrick. But I'm agreeing with you. But the thing again with the problem that we're having with Jimmy Iovine is the reason why Jimmy Iovine is able to do these deals is because he has a plan that makes sense, y'all. It's not, he could give someone the money, but even if he didn't give them the money, he also has a plan of attack that makes sense, that makes the artist more well off. So if we don't like what Jimmy Iovine is doing, why not we sit down and come up with our own way of doing business for the artist, since we have so much of a problem with what Jimmy Iovine does?
I don't know. And I didn't, and it's I don't really like a lot of music, and Kanye's done this with Devil in a New Dress, and his videos have a lot of satanic imagery, but Kendrick's verses, I think even on Good Kid, Mad City, say he had thorns. He had thorns, and he did a lot of. You look at the cover of Damn, and they broke it down, and then you got Lucy talking about Lucifer and the Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of demonic themes in his music, man. And Kanye's got the same stuff, and I can't reconcile that, man. He did Jesus is King, so I gotta call a spade a spade. I don't like when Kanye does it, but he's been dabbing in that kind of demonic type stuff that Kendrick's been doing, but we don't really call it out. We act like it doesn't exist, but
we should call out things that are potentially harmful for other people, right? And so if we're using demonic imagery, right, based on a person's psychology, they could say whether that's harmful or not harmful. But how many times has a symbol actually hurt you? As looking at a symbol hurt you? Like if you watch a video you deem demonic, has that physically hurt you? Now, I'm not caping for such in a video because that doesn't make sense. But what I am saying is two things exist in this world, right? The light and the dark, good and evil, everything is duality. I've been consistently talking about a balance. So if you see something good on one end and you see something evil on the other end, well, that's because it's just a balance in the world, right? So that doesn't mean that it's going to hurt you. If you saw that, you know what I mean? If you think it's going to hurt you, that's one thing. But some things are just their symbology. They're not going to physically hurt you. You know what I mean?
I ain't saying if physically help, but people, Hollywood and music business have used images to ingrain themselves in the people's psyche and consciousness for a very long time. I mean, you look at that Jay-Z video. What was that? When he did it with Marina Abramovich or whatever, that I think she's a Satanist, and he was in the art museum. He's looking at her, she's looking all crazy. On to the next one with the skull with blood coming down it.
Right,
I mean, stuff is crazy, man. I can't defend it. You know what I'm saying? Or you look at the video where Kanye famous when he's in the bed with all the mannequins and they have like an orgy and all this type of stuff. And this stuff is not good.
We have to go in and I feel you, Ron, but I got to push back a little bit. You think that Maria Abramovich or the lady in the Jay-Z video is a Satanist? We got to stop thinking and start knowing.
I think that. I think she's documented saying she's a Satanist.
It's not. Like, we have to know, because that's a hell of a
I'm just saying that based on what she said, if 1 + 1 is 2, it seems to me that it seems to me from what I know, I mean, I'm not a Satanist of the least bit, but from what I've seen and when I read about her and the images she puts out, and she has pictures of decapitated children and
from what I've seen,
blood, that seems pretty satanic to me, brother.
From what I've seen, it looks like she's a performative artist, right? So if she's a Satanist, I don't know. I never met this person, but
I don't want to meet her, but she seems quite satanic.
I'm not afraid of Satan. So all the Satan stuff that people could bring, I'm not afraid of this person or whoever this entity is, right? So we have to make a choice of how we. And now I think she's a performance artist, right? I think when I go down her history, it looks as if she's a performance artist. We have to stop being afraid of what we deem as something that's Satanist, because again, I'm not afraid of Satan, and that's me speaking to people who are. I get it, but some things are symbology, and that's when you take it as to, oh, this person must be doing a deal with the devil or decapitating children or something. Not saying you're saying that, but I think we let our imagination of things run so far.
Do you believe in good energy? Do you believe in good energy and bad energy? Do you believe in demons? And do you believe in spirits? Do you believe in those things?
I understand, but we're equating energy to physical action. And that's where I take a disagree. Like, if you believe in good energy and bad energy, yeah, I can believe in good energy and bad energy. But when you start saying that a bad energy just hurt somebody, well, then I have to see that it hurt. That who did it hurt, right?
Because having pictures of decapitated children, that doesn't seem like the energy that I would want to be around. That's just me.
I've never seen her taking pictures of decapitated children. Now, if she has, again, I've never seen that, right? But we are, again, and someone's talking about Egyptian gods, right? We take an idea of something that we are uneducated about, and then we jump into the furthest regions of something, right? Again, symbology is used in not just history, not just music, but it's used in the government, it's used in our everyday lives, it's used in our way of thought. For you to be afraid of that, it's no need for anybody to be afraid of something that they deem as demonic. Or now, I'm not saying to co-sign it. I would never co-sign something demonic, something evil, something that aligns with sin. I have no relation with saying it. I'm just saying that there's no need for fear of that.
No, I don't fear anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't fear anything. Man. I fear. I do. I mean, I fear. I humble myself and fear the power of God, but I don't fear any man or I don't fear any devil. I just don't want the energy around me or my people. That's all I'm saying.
We do know that it exists. If there is light, then there must be darkness. If there is love, then it must be hate. If there is war, if there's peace, then it must be war. So what I'm saying is a balance exists in all things.
It does, but you don't have to embrace that. I don't have to welcome that. I don't have to welcome that energy into my space. I don't have to do that. You know, I don't have to. I can because if you say there's a balance between all of us, light and dark existing within all of us, right? Even within myself. I don't have to welcome more dark into my environment.
There you go.
I don't want, and if I'm creating art, I don't want my art to be dark. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a podcast where we talk about drinking blood and eating bad heads. And
I agree.
I don't want to do that. You know, I know it exists. I'm not afraid of it, but I don't want to have a platform where we talking about all this type of crazy shit.
I agree.
We eat cannibals and all this. I just don't want to do that. That's
Maria Abramovich, right? Maria Abramovich, she did an exhibition where she lies naked in public just to see what people are going to do, right? So she's lying there naked, and people come up and some poke her, some just look at her strangely. People have bit her. People have punched her. People have put guns to her head. People have cut her with knives.
It sounds crazy as hell, man. Come on.
You want the real backstory of somebody, right? So she's laying there.
Leroy, let me ask you, this should sound crazy to you.
No, but I'm saying she's laying there and people have put a gun to her head. People have cut her. People have bit her. People have struck her. People have kicked her. People have spit on her. So I'm saying, yes, that is very strange and very out there, right?
So let me ask you this. When Jay wore that shirt, Do What Thy Wilt, when he wore that shirt, Do What Thy Wilt, from Aleister Crowley, who was a Satanist,
right?
Why would you put forth that image to your audience? How is that artistic to wear Do What Thou Wilt, which was a saying of a known Satanist, Aleister Crowley, on your shirt? Why would that be an artistic thing?
I do not think Aleister Crowley or any of these Europeans taking credit for our science are the originators of our science. I do not think they are the controllers of it, so do what you will, right? Do what you want is what that means. That is an African way of thinking. Do what you want, right? So I do not think Aleister Crowley, Aleister, or whatever his name is. I don't follow craziness, but I do not think he gets to own that. I don't think he gets to own that. And I think Jay is conscious of these sayings that these people are running around with, these Satanists and conspiracy theorists running around with sayings and saying that, acting like they created it. Actually, these are old African ways of thought. And I think he knows that. You know?
Right. Let me get to the super chat real quick. We got Mad Max to the super chat. Shout out Mad Max. If LL and Q-Tip drop an album, he jumping goats. Okay. Because both Ye and Dot are Masons. Okay.
Now, Mad Max also said one thing: because it's African, don't make it good, right? And we have a bunch of we're fighting now between Black people in Africa and America. Black people and Africans, we're fighting because it's easier to fight another Black face than it is to fight a white one, and I understand that, right? So we're fighting amongst each other. Let me tell you about an African school of thought. African school of thought does not claim to know everything. Africans were very clear on the fact that we do not know everything. What we do is we make these statements based on observation over the course of several lifetimes. So we don't know everything. We're doing the best we can. So when people look up and say, look at all these gods you're worshiping, the Africans would say, well, actually, no, we're not worshiping these gods because that's what a European told you. What we're actually doing is giving tribute and being thankful for the aspect or principality of that principle. So like if you look at the Statue of Liberty, you don't worship the Statue of Liberty, you are thankful for liberty. So that's the same thing that existed in the ancient world. And just because it's African, don't make it good. But a lot of y'all are running with a European way of looking at everything in life. And you swear the European way is the best way to do everything. Well, some people don't agree with that. You know what I mean? And these African ways of thinking that before Africa fell under invasion, they weren't just thrown up on the wall as some just bullshit. Trust me, the highest level of intellect study these ways of thought, right? So, but the Africans never claimed to know everything. It was the European that claimed to know, look, we know everything. We have all the answers. And then we accepted that. But the African himself never said that we know all the answers. That wasn't a part of their religion or way of thought.
Shout out, Mad Max to the super chat says, do what thy wilt is wicked practice. Mad Max to the super chat says, that's why we have laws to give boundaries.
Who created the laws? Who created the courtroom? Who created the scales? Who created the chess play that we make in legal jargon? Who created the Masonic way of thought that is the structural form of thought in our minds, how we communicate? We created that. So when someone says, do what thy will, which means do what they want, in thy will is the word thy. Where is thy coming from? You read your Bible and you're like, thy this, thou, that. Who is using thou and thy? Where did that come from? right? So when we start doing a history on etymology of words, what we find is the actual words come from Africa. So that means that the principalities around the word also comes from Africa. So how can do what you want? Do what thy will means, translation, it means do what you want. So you're telling me that's wrong? It could be wrong for you, but it simply means do what you want.
Well, we're gonna get back to the music because we get deep in this real quick. But let me ask you one question though, Leroy. I'm gonna ask you a real question.
Yeah.
You have a dinner. Are you having a party at your crib? Are you inviting? What's her name?
Yeah.
Are you inviting her to your dinner? Are you gonna let her bring a dish? You gonna eat? And if she brings a dish, are you gonna eat it?
Listen, no, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You know, but I just wanted to tell you, a person that is willing to lay naked on the altar of art while people abuse them, that takes a certain courage in that person. Now, we don't have to like her, and if you want to say she works with the devil, that's fine. Jay-Z's point in that video where he stands on a platform in the Picasso, the statement that he's making is that we, our bodies, are us as artists, we are art. We are art.
Yeah, I feel you, Leroy, but you said everything I needed to know, man. She's not coming to your crib, and you're not going to eat whatever dinner dish she brings over.
I would have a conversation with her, though, because we are afraid to meet with Europeans and have conversation. I am not. So we have to get out of this. It's fear behind that. That's a Satanist. That is your fear talking. Move out of your fear and start talking directly to these people and get some, people always talked about Masonic lodges and the Illuminati. I got past the fear and just went into one and asked questions, right? Because when you ask questions, you will get answers, right? And when you get answers, it gives you a better understanding of what's going on. I went into one, they were breaking down some sciences, right? So I'm saying the science that you're trying to break down is symbology. You don't understand that this symbol is actually, it's a time period. It speaks to a time period. So what I'm saying is, and there's the people of all races in there trying to learn, right? And they just want to learn. What are they learning? They are learning, these are our future architects. They're our future scientists, engineers. They are learning how to produce gold with their thoughts. That's all, y'all.
Hey, bean pie, my brother. I'm just joking. Anyway, man, let's get back to the music, man.
Just say, don't be anti-conscious. Don't be anti-conscious, Ron. But no, but
anti-conscious. Well, that chick ain't come to my crib. I'm just saying that, man. But I ain't gonna eat no bean pies tonight. But it's all G.
I get it.
We talked about L. We talked about Memphis Bleek. We talked about Scarlett. We talked a little bit about Lotto. We talked about Jay. Jay worked his way in the conversation. Where we at, man? We've been on for 2 hours, man. I'm gonna open up the phone lines, man. If anybody wants to jump in and have a conversation, we can do that.
I hope that Blue and Evidence make a whole album. Blue dropped 2 albums already this year, Out of the Blue and Royal Blue. I know a lot of people may not know who that is, but Blue's new song, Lost Angel, Evidence on the beat, fire.
All right, we'll give it a few minutes, man. We'll drop the pod in here. We'll drop the link in here. If y'all want to join in, y'all want to tell us your thoughts tonight on a Saturday, what you thought about the LL song, what you think about the new Memphis Bleek, what you think about Scarlett, what you think about this conversation we're having about Juneteenth. Phone lines are open. Lines are open. So we'll stick around for another 10 to 15 minutes before we close it out. But yeah, man, I'm excited. So what are you expecting for next Wednesday for the pop out show in LA?
Man, I'm expecting greatness, and one thing about Kendrick Lamar is he is a performative arts artist, so that really is what garners a lot of his following, y'all. So everybody has their certain gifts, right? It's like when I talk about Busta Rhymes, people are like, well, Busta Rhymes is trash. Okay, but a lot of what Busta Rhymes does, it's performative arts, it's performance arts. So a lot of his fanfare comes from what he can do on that stage. So and Kendrick is in that same wheelhouse. So I'm expecting just a awesome show. Even the songs that you don't like, when you see him perform though, you're kind of like, okay, I can get it now. You know, like I get it, you know?
Yeah. So Mick Game Networks, yeah, Bleek did drop. He had a song called Do Rag Bleek, produced by Just Blaze, that dropped on Friday. It was the Bleek that we expect, man. So check it out. It's on YouTube. Housekeeping note: next Wednesday, the mic check will be a little bit different. So we're gonna do a pregame show. I think we gotta get the times right. We'll do like a pregame show, and then we're gonna do a live on Twitch for the pop out. So we'll be doing live commentary while the pop out is playing on Twitch. We'll be streaming it live, and then afterwards we'll pop back over to YouTube and do the after show commentary of the pop out live and direct. So that's next Wednesday. We won't be on for maybe 3 or 4 hours next Wednesday. So tap in with us, man. We're gonna be in real time. We got some folks on LA on the ground that's gonna be covering it, so it's gonna be cool, man. But you got Mad Max in the building. Go ahead before I bring Mad Max in.
Oh, Mad Max. One thing people are saying, you know, when people talk about what happened to Africa, why did Africa fall, or God destroyed Africa, if you studied the invasions into Africa, you would know Africa fell behind war. If you studied the war, you would understand religion a little bit better, because you need to understand what happens in war when people get a hold of your spiritual text, whether they give you back your text the same way they got it, or whether they alter it in some way. But that's it, you know?
No doubt. Mad Max is in the building. What's good, Mad Max? What's good with you, brother?
Yo, what's good?
What's good, my G?
What's on your mind tonight, bro?
I just wanted to let people know I've been telling y'all about LL. I had him fourth on my list. I'm gonna move him over Hove, because that was a better song I heard from Hove in like 5 years. And LL drop a great album with Q-Tip. I just want to say we gotta have GOAT conversations, man. And Q-Tip too, because Q-Tip's a better producer than Kanye. Y'all been meat riding Kanye for years. He is not like that.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. We gotta pull back here a little bit. So you saying Q-Tip's a better producer than Kanye West?
That's what he said.
Easily better than Kanye West. Easily.
That's what he said, bro.
Better than Kanye West. So you got Down and Out. You got Guess Who's Back. You got Izzo. You got Heart of the City. You got so many records. You got You Don't Know My Name. You got the Truth with Beanie Siegel. You saying that Q-Tip's a better producer than Kanye West?
If Q-Tip gives LL a great album, LL's pushing like 60. I don't know how we can not argue that Q-Tip is not only better than Kanye West. Why are we not arguing that he's top, maybe the greatest producer of all time? Don't he have like 3-4 classics that he produced?
Yeah, you can make an argument that Q-Tip's top 10 producer of all time. Q-Tip's a dope producer, one of the greatest producers of all time. When we say better than Kanye West, I got to really think about that. I got to really
hold on, Ron. I feel about Q-Tip the way I feel about Primo, right? When people talk about Primo, they're like, he's cool. But when we talk about foundational hip hop, the reason why we go like this when we hear a dope beat, the reason we actually do that to a certain degree with boom bap is directly because of Q-Tip and Primo. So that's why we even go like that. So it's like, that has to count for something. These are the backbone. Q-Tip is the backbone of a particular sound that gets people moving. Primo is the backbone of a particular sound that gets people moving. And without these two backgrounds, a lot of tree branches grew off these background, off these roots.
It did. I mean, Kanye is the child of Q-Tip and the child of No ID. But I mean, you got the Corners, you got B, you got Go, you got the Food, you got so many. You're talking about late registration, college dropout records. You got graduation records. I mean, you talking about a lot of records. You got Gold Digger from a pop perspective. You got a lot of records that Kanye West got, man.
That beat that he just gave L is a better beat than anything Kanye West has done in like 5-6 years.
It's better than Burn.
Burn.
It's better than Burn. The one off of all the Vultures on the Vultures joint.
Oh yeah, Vultures was trash, bro. I'm not even listening to that. I don't listen to Vultures.
It's better than the song Vultures.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Kanye is dope, but we give Kanye a bunch of props for making crossover pop beats, but we don't give other people props for going pop. If Kanye gets props for going pop, then everybody should get props for going pop. You know, he can't be the only guy. You know?
Kanye just got outproduced by Pharrell. I don't even know. He's not better than Pharrell. If we really really breaking that down.
Message.
He's not better than Pharrell, bro. How does he end these gold conversations for production? He's a good producer. He's good, but he is not in that class with the real all-time GOATs. You know, he's with, Alchemist, Just Blaze. He's with those cats.
He's a soul beat master. Kanye is a soul beats master. So I'll give him that. The soul beats, he's a master. So
Sha Son, you come on, man. Pharrell ain't the Neptunes, no, but Pharrell.
Thank you, Sha Son. Thank you, my boy.
Pharrell ain't better than Pharrell. When Chad Hugo's not making the beats with Pharrell, he's not a better producer than Kanye West.
Kanye got mad ghost producers, man. We don't even know if Kanye made a beat on Vultures.
Come on, man.
We don't know that. We don't know that, man.
Tell you himself he's seen Kanye. Let's not say Kanye don't make no beats, man. That's not true.
Shout out to Pharrell and the Lego movie. Pharrell, his biopic is a Lego movie. That is super fire. Okay.
To me, Ron, this is how I grade just artists in general. I put them in tiers. So I don't go by longevity or nothing. To me, longevity only matters if you're in the same tier as somebody else. So if I don't have you in a certain class, you will, unless you have like a crazy catalog for 20, 30 years and that person only had like a 3-year run, then I could put you over them. But like Pharrell's been here for a minute. Q-Tip was there for a minute. I mean, what do you want me to tell you, bro? I'm just looking at the catalog, bro. We talking about catalog. That's Mike D's favorite word, catalog, right? Let's just go. I'm going to my Apple Music right now. Let's go to low end theory, right? Kanye got a beat. Kanye got a beats like Vibes and stuff. He got stuff like Check the Rhyme. I mean, Scenario. He got beats better than that.
You make a compelling argument.
Hold on, Midnight Marauders. He got a War Tour. He got Electric Relaxation. Come on, son. He don't got no Electric Relaxation. Come on, son. Come on. Let's be for real.
You make a very compelling argument. You do.
He's the hit boy to Nas's Primo. So even if Kanye had those, Kanye is the after effects of Q-Tip. And that doesn't take away from Kanye, but it just means Q-Tip was already there. Q-Tip.
Damn, Mad Max. I wasn't prepared to dig into my mind like this for this battle, but I'm gonna have to come back with you on next show and kind of come back with you on some Electric Relaxation. I'm gonna find a beat. I'm gonna find a beat that's better than that. Just give me this. Just.
People didn't think I listened to a Tribe because they think I like all hype music, bro. I don't like hype music. I like good music. I like hip hop music. I like Tribe. They got some fire beats. They got fire beats, and they got some dope music. So,
damn, you got me thinking, man. You got me thinking.
Now, Kanye is dope, man. Q-Tip and Kanye is dope. Just placing them in a certain ranking, that's tough. You know what I mean? So the ranking, got to just figure that out. I know Mike was doing we were doing the beat producer breakdown thing, but Ye's ranking, that's tough. You know what I mean? Because he came in a little bit after a lot of the greats were established and the sounds were established. But he's a hell of a soul sample producer. And Kanye, to his credit, he is a creative motherfucker, man. He's creative. Like Pharrell is creative, like Timberland is creative, like Knots is creative, Alchemist, but Kanye is a creative person, and I'll give him that. There's also the techniques involved. Why I like Primo. Primo will take half a second of sound and make that a whole beat. So that in itself is fire to me. So it's just depends on what you like, man.
I mean, in my opinion, Primo's probably the overall greatest producer ever because he had the longest run of S tier level, like God level beats. Now you don't go from the Gangstar stuff to then this guy gave Rakim 10 years after Rakim's debut, When I Be on the Mic, gave Hove Where I'm From, was giving Nas all the best Nas songs got Primo beats on it. Let's call a spade. Laced and Big, like
facts.
He just didn't give somebody a particular album per se, but you talk about Primo. I got RZA, obviously Dre, he's still up there.
Yep.
Havoc somewhere in the 5. Q-Tip, that's probably my 5. Q-Tip, Havoc,
fine.
Dre. Jay Dilla's kind of better than Kanye. Come on, man. I think Jay Dilla's kind of overrated, but
it's the technique.
That's just me. People,
how funky?
Yeah, he got good technique.
It's how funky Jay Dilla is. Like Primo be chopping like a samurai. Jay Dilla be chopping like a ninja, just a bunch of chops, but it's the techniques, y'all. Dilla is crazy. Like, I would never think to make a beat like Jay Dilla behind a beat machine. Yeah, yes, I can get behind a beat machine too. But just how he's making the beats would never cross my mind to do that. Just his techniques is crazy. You know what I mean? So I can't hear you, Ron.
That got me thinking, man. Mad Max, you threw me off my square tonight, bro. You got me thinking. Q-Tip is dope, but I just think that Kanye's done so much. I mean, even the stuff he's done with Janet Jackson, he's done the stuff he's done with Alicia Keys, stuff he's done with Rihanna. I mean, Kanye's the stuff he's done with Jay, the stuff he's done with Beans, the stuff he's done for himself.
Kanye is a visionary. He's a visionary. I'll give him. He pushes.
I think he's got more. He's got more output. I mean, yes, Q-Tip's output is really great. He's got Low End Theory, Midnight Marauders. He's got People's Instinctive. He's got these great works. Then he's got the Infamous on his resume too. But Kanye's got I think his catalog is more vast than Q-Tip's. So I have to give him the nod, man. I gotta give. Okay. I gotta give Kanye the nod, man. Even though you can make an argument that Q-Tip.
To me, Kanye West is closer to the track masters. Kanye make very soft beats, man. I'm sorry.
The corners is
his
soft?
beats.
Max, the corners is
they're R&B-ish, man. They're R&B-ish, man.
Let's stop. Let's take B. Let's just take B. You telling me the corners and B, the food, those records are soft records?
The food is soft. Nah, but I'm playing with you. I'm playing. It's dope. But he's saying soft. Hey, people say Common is soft. Now we know the music is not soft.
Shot City is soft. I'm just trying to understand. Man, Max.
I mean, I'm more like thinking the songs like I Wonder. I think the beat is soft.
He got
a lot of Kanye's beats. Like, I think Kanye only makes hard beats for Hove. Like beats with like drums that really thump. Yeah. He only makes it for Hove. Take Over. What's the other joints? Ron mentioned them before. Heart of the City. Like those is like some of and Cam, because he gave Cam Down and Out. Now that be kind of thump. Kanye's good. Don't get it twisted. I think he's a good producer. I just don't.
Yeah.
How about God level now.
How about Dreams by Damn Game? Come on, that's a soft beat.
Hey, but Just Blaze gave him Church for Thugs, though. Just Blaze killed that. You know what I mean? But no, of course Kanye
I can make an argument. I can make an argument. Just Blaze is better than Kanye.
Come on, man. Stop, man. When's the last dope? What's the last dope Just Blaze record, man? Let's be for real.
Didn't we just hear one? Didn't we discuss one this episode?
No, I'm talking about a dope. I mean, that's a cool record. On to the last banger from Just Blaze. You want to talk Exhibit C? Was that the last one? What was the last?
Is a monster.
Didn't he give what you call it? Jay Electronica? That was he produced that beat for Jay Electronica, right?
Yeah, it was like 20 years.
Exhibit A.
That was like 20 years ago. What was the last great? Because I can go back to I think 88 Keys and Kanye co-produced this record. That song, that Pusha T song.
The Pusha T Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. What's the last Just Blaze dope record?
Yeah, but I think Just Blaze his sound is more epic to me. You know what I mean? To me.
Kanye got Vultures I can say what y'all want. Vultures is a dope song.
Yeah.
Burn is a great record. Carnival is the #1 record in the country. So I mean, what songs does Just Blaze have?
But Kanye is all about the expansion of his music, right? So I'm not listening to Kanye at this present moment. But if there is something, if you're telling me he's making music that's comparable to his early work or better than his early work, then I'll go listen. But the reason why I don't listen is because when I do, I don't hear nothing that's better than, the work he did before. So I just don't even really listen. Now, am I tripping, or does he got some shit I need to go listen to?
I don't know, Max. I'm with you, my guy, but I don't think Just Blaze is at that level, man. I just don't think he is, man.
Just Blaze is crazy. Just Blaze is insane. I will always be mad at Just Blaze for leaving the game to go chill, because them beats is crazy, man.
Oh yeah, we shout out. Somebody said we don't shout out Easy Mo B. We did a whole episode. We gave Easy Mo B his flowers, man. Easy Mo B is that guy, man. We shout out the Bank. We gave Bank his flowers. Dame Grease. We shout out all these guys, man. So we know.
Same, Kanye. I think Kanye is reaching, and sometimes you got to reach, right? But I think he's just moving too fast and reaching really hard, and the sounds aren't hitting like they did back in the day, and that's okay. We all change, but being that's not the case. My favorite Kanye album is Late Registration, right? Because that has diamonds on it and stuff like that. So, and also My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is up there too, and I just don't hear nothing now that he's doing that sounds like either one of those records. So, and if I'm tripping, let me know and I'll go listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the last Kanye West album that sounded like Kanye West. It's been a minute. Shit. I mean, Life of Pablo had that sound that
was fire.
Life of Pablo, and then I think
like that.
There was some. I mean, people hate on Vultures. I mean, that Ye album was okay. And I Follow God on Jesus is King was dope.
The song, but the rest of the album, though, you know what I mean?
But that beat was dope, though. Okay,
yeah. That beat, that specific beat.
Yeah. So Follow God was dope, So
right.
Then he had the song with Lil Pump. What was that song that I want to say, what was that song called, man?
That Ye album was trash, Ron. Don't do that. That Ye album was trash.
Get away with that, Ron. I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
I can't let you get away with that one. You know what's crazy? I found out the other day because on that Ye album, I liked one song. It was called Yikes. And then I
dude,
found out the other day Drake wrote that. I was like, wait, there's no way Drake wrote this bullshit. I actually liked the song.
right.
So I was kind of mad.
I forgot. Shut up, man. You know, I'm tripping. So he had some work on. He had some work on Donda. Junior was tight. What else was on Donda?
Off the
Donda.
Grid was cool.
I mean, the Electronica.
Off the Grid was tight. Jail was cool. You know what I'm saying? What else was good on that record? Donda. It was what was it? Hold on.
The song with what's that song? Was it that he's talking about? Big Meech.
I forgot. Praise God was dope. Off the Grid was dope. Jail was dope.
Jesus Lord or something like that.
Jesus Lord was dope.
Something like that.
Moon was dope. You know what I'm saying? So
thing though, Ron, the music that he made before was based on music you can live to, right? You play it over and over the course of your life. The music he's making now is for the events, and I don't have a problem with either one. But when I hear his music now, I can tell that they're specifically for his listening events, because I could tell by the cadence of the bars, I could tell by the content of the music, I could tell by the beat picking itself, and I can tell just the how he's delivering the songs, that they're meant for the listening. They're not meant for you to just be living your life to playing these songs.
He's making chant music, like Junior Watanabe on my and when he's rapping, he's like, "Wait, how you call me?" He's like,
right.
He's like, "New, I don't want to mess it up." Let me pull the lyrics. So he's like, He's like, He's like, he's rapping like, He recorded in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, man. He's doing like chants on the records. Hold on, let me just pull the lyrics up.
He's doing chants on the records because he's promoting his songs to kids. That's what's the problem. Right. His songs have no maturity to them. They're like for kids.
So he's like ex strippers, new killers, shot town, tell them, it's on Donna, on my mama,
so that people can repeat it back.
Junior Watanabe on my wrist, tell him.
But Leroy, that's like that's what like all the new rappers do. They do the TikTok formula stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna say something a little catchy for you to repeat it.
It's like a hymn. He's just doing like he's just.
It's not a hymn, Ron. It's not a hymn.
Not a hymn. I didn't mean a hymn, but I'm saying he's like it's like a chant or whatever he's doing, right? It's like all summer,
right?
All summer, 4-5 gunners, they piranhas.
But Kanye,
it's not coherent.
Kanye's verses are hooks. His verses a lot of times. Not all the time, but sometimes they're hooks that were formed into verses, so you could repeat them over and over. So I'm not mad.
But that's giving you dope verses no more. Like you said, the verses are hooks. That means his verses are very short. He's not saying nothing. Like, I'm sorry, Kanye has he's been washed. It's 2024. I'll say Kanye's been washed for over damn near close to 15 years. For 15 years, he's been damn near washed. About close to 15.
When he's doing something, this is not even rap. What he's doing, he's just
it's rap. It's rap. It's for the purpose of what he's doing, those listening events, which is why I'm not even mad at him for doing it. But I hear what the purpose is. Like when he made the other songs for his earlier albums, I could hear that he just wanted to get off how he felt, like in his heart, in his soul or whatever. But now it's just about like, let me sell these tickets. And again, I'm not mad at you, but the music is chanty because I want you to chant these hooks and chant these words back to me and not really care too much about what I'm saying or how, I just want you to chant along and sing along.
I have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Just look at his skill as a rapper. I know he doesn't write his stuff, but let's just look at his skill as a rapper. He's not even Cameron, bro, and we put him on a pedestal.
Cam is crazy. Cam is crazy though.
Cameron though. Like when you look at Kanye and Cam, it's their charisma, their personality mostly sells you their product. right? Now Kanye produces beats, Cam doesn't, so he has that edge. And then some will say Kanye is more socially conscious than Cam. So on those aspects, he has an edge. But Cam is a better rapper than him lyrically. I think Cam makes equally, like they're around. I think Cam is a little bit better, but I grew up on Cam. Kanye, when I first heard Kanye, I thought he was kind of whack, but
Cam is kind of a producer though, because even though Cam doesn't make beats, he only raps over certain kinds of beats and sounds, like that whole chipmunk thing that Kanye is famous for. But Cam is right there, like the chipmunk be right in his beats, like, you know what I mean? So the Heat Makers beats and that Heat Maker sound, Cameron mastered that epically, perfectly. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like when I listen to Kanye, it's like he's a Chicago version of Cam, just not as good as a rapper.
And Consequence. How many of y'all know Consequence? If you listen to Consequence, then quickly listen to Kanye, you might not know it's a different person. Who listens to Consequence?
Well, Consequences have a good voice. I mean, Kanye doesn't either, but he just has so much charisma.
Consequence has a way of swinging the bars with a humor in it, and the humor will be on some pop culture reference or something that is kind of disrespectful, but it's a humor in how he's kicking it. Now, if you listen to him real quick and then go listen to Kanye, and then you know they worked together, and you know Consequence was there in the early days, and you know Consequence got a pen and was part of the writing situation. You start putting those two things together, and you're like, okay, like listen to Consequence real quick and then switch over to Kanye. You know what I mean?
I hear you. My problem is just when I see Ye get put on a pedestal. There's been a few rappers of the 2000s on that they just get put on pedestals. Kanye, Lil Wayne, and then the Drake era after. Like some of these cats, no disrespect, man, but dudes be acting like they're God's gift to Earth or something. I had a TikTok where I had to rank rappers. They gave me a bunch of random old school rappers, right? And I had 50 over like Ye, M, and Lil Wayne. Somebody looked me. You're crazy for having 50 over Wayne and M. I'm like, dude, 50 made better hip hop music than those two. No disrespect. Like I'm spinning 50 before I spin Lil Wayne and Eminem. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn about that technical stuff. Who had the more hip hop joints?
Hey, the technical stuff. You know, I'm standing on that. And trust me, I feel people. Most of my homies, they don't care nothing about no technical bars. So I hear that. But I got to stand on that what M does, because I think some people, they just don't know how to write dope lyrics. Like they're cool, or they just may not know how. So this technical skills will take a person's writing from one level to another level. So that's
hey, look, Mad Max, I can't let you do that, man. Lil Wayne can rap, man. I mean, did you listen to the Collard Grove 2 album with him and 2 Chainz?
I gave it a quick listen. I did not like what I was
listen to it tonight, because Havoc did 2 beats on that album. Listen to that album tonight and come back next week and let me know what you thought. Just give it a real listen, Mad Max. Don't just skim through it. Look, give it a real listen and tell me that Lil Wayne ain't spit.
I don't like Lil Wayne. I hate Lil Wayne.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Lil Wayne, even though he had that mainstream push, Lil Wayne can rap for real. I'm not even. I'm not. I'm not gonna sit here and try to give Wayne his props for no reason. He can really rap, man.
What about this? Wayne puts jewels in nonsense. Like if you listen to a lot of his raps, you'll be like, a lot of that was nonsense. But if you really sit there, some of that nonsense got jewels in it. It got jewels in it. You know what I mean? So it's like some of that stuff on Carter 2 and 3. Well, that's old stuff, but I'm trying to think of more recent stuff. There was a record like he had the butterfly on it or whatever. Maybe that was Carter 5 or something. But some of the stuff he be saying, it do be having jewels in it though.
I mean, he says, "Fuse my charisma, vodka with a spritzer, swagger down pat, call my ship Patricia, Young Money Militia, and I'm the commissioner. Who don't want to start Weezy with the efforts for finisher? So much in the world, but it's the world without enigma." It's at the same time synchronized swimmers.
He also had a line where he said Wheezy F baby, and the F is for phenomenal. Now I don't know if he knows how to spell, but phenomenal starts with a PH.
Right.
I mean, come on, son. Come on, son. I can't with that guy, bro.
Yo,
bro, he's one of those, and that's why I brought up Cam. Like, Cam is all style. I mean, and it's like ABC rhyming, I guess, but it's like all style. Like, but some of these other but people won't praise Cam like they'll praise all these other dudes who is clearly it's either their style or their flow. Like when you talk about the technical rapping, right? I remember when ASAP Rocky came out, right? He wasn't saying shit, but he was multi-syllabic. But nobody would say he's a technical MC. Like I just don't like. It's just like to me, it's just weird when certain people who just say a bunch of nothing get put on a pedestal, and other people with the same style on that pedestal.
No, man, Max, but you gotta dig into the catalog, man. Mixtape Weezy, something else. Shout out to Shah Sun. Me and Shah Sun don't agree on a lot of stuff, but that Cream, I think Cream, he had a song with what's that dude named Euro? I think Euro was on that record with him. That Cream freestyle.
The dedication with DJ Drama.
I don't know what niggas thinking, but I know how they think. That's some like Wayne says stuff that you make you think like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, I get what he's saying. Like Wayne is dope, man. I think you sleep on Wayne.
He has what you call hit blunt bars. They're only fire to you and make you think like you hit a blunt moment.
No, I'll be so bad. I don't hit blunts. I don't hit no blunts.
I don't hit blunts either, but he has to me what I call hit blunt bars. Like, oh, word, you're high. You're like, damn, I didn't really think about it like that.
I think the output of some rappers too. A Lil Wayne who has put out 1,000 songs, for us to expect that every time he's gonna say something phenomenal is just impossible. You know, so sometimes to be great, you got to deliver so many songs that you physically just can't make everything incredible. It's just too many raps. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. You know?
Man, and before we get out of here, real quick, Nas will never, Lil Wayne will never die was in rare form, man. What's his verse on Never Die? That's my favorite verses on the Magic series, man.
He killed that.
Icon stepping on Python, spitting like Kion, eat like Zion, peeking at the skyline, reaching for the stars like I'm reaching for the pylon. I said, come on.
That was a nice line. Reaching for the stars like I'm reaching for the pylon was hard.
We need to walk the fine line. We need to read the guidelines instead of reading the timelines. He said we need to read the guidelines instead of reading the timelines. Why everybody like wine? Nobody flow like mine. I'm sunning these ninjas, got me coaching ninjas like Prime. Tongue, I never bite mine. Got dough like Taekwondo.
That's technical.
I mean, this guy is
technical.
Let's not sleep on Wayne. I never bite
mine was hard. I'll give you that.
Let's not sleep on Wayne. I need Mad Max. Do me a favor, please. Go back. And
I tried listening to Wayne, bro. I never liked it.
Go back and listen to that Cream freestyle with Euro. Go back and listen to Family Matters with Family Feud with him and Drake. You know what I'm saying? Go back and listen to Collard Grove 1 and Collard Grove 2.
My favorite Lil Wayne is the DJ Drama series dedications 1 through 3. I think Lil Wayne is the best Lil Wayne on those mixtapes with DJ Drama. So if anybody wants to go back to that, that's I think Wayne at his finest moments. You know,
because I mean Wayne. I think Wayne. You got to give. I mean, I got Wayne in my top 20, man. So I don't know where I got him in my top 20.
Top 20.
I'll reveal that at a later date, but I got Wayne in my top 20, man.
Top 20?
I got Wayne in my top 20, dude.
It's like, no.
Oh, my God.
Wayne got to be in the top 20. Like, I don't know what's up with some of y'all numbers. Do you know how many numbers 20 is? So Wayne got to be in there. It's like when we started the show and we said LL in the top 15. Like, he has to be in the top 15 because it's only
LL's in the top numbers. 5. LL's in the top 5. That's my son.
It's not in 20.
I got Wayne in the top 20, man. But, yo, we've been on here for almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. I want to say this before we get out of here. Shout out to all the fathers, man. I'm a father of 3. I got an older one that's in school right now. That's in college. She's doing her thing, studying mechanical engineering. She's in DC at an internship right now. She just got back from Spain. So I got a 7-year-old and I got a 5-year-old, and being a father as much as I love being, do what I do for work and doing what I do on this podcast and this platform, that's the most important job I've ever had in my life, man. Creating that legacy for my children, and trying to gear them in the right way, so that when, years down the road, they can take, what we built and carry it on and make this world a better place, man. So shout out to all the fathers, man. A lot of us in hip hop, we get bad raps of the fathers that we are, but most of us, 99% of us, despite what the media says or what these academics say, 99% of us are in our children's lives, impacting them daily, feeding them the culture, living the culture with them, and providing them and guiding them on the right way of life. And yeah, man. So I just want to say shout out to all the dads, man. If you got your kids, man, hold them tight, love on them, guide them right, pray with them. And yeah, man, that's what it is, man.
No doubt. The kids are the boss. That's what we really do this for, because the kids got to have something they can stand on, a legacy they can stand on. And not only that, though, for the kids' future, it's about what is the most advantageous for their growth, the kind of music that we put in their ears. So we got to start having some serious conversations about that, y'all, because these kids is listening. They listen to every bar. They know everything about the rhyme. So we got to make sure that they're getting some healthy bars and some healthy music, and not always just something crazy,
Yeah, and Donnie Draco, man, come on, brother. We trying to be positive, man. We want to celebrate fathers. I said fathers. I didn't say me, man. So I want to, I'm doing my job, man. I don't need no more praise than what I do. Every day for me is Father's Day, man. So, but I mean, if you're a father, Donnie Draco, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to your father, your grandfather. So we give respect and honor, man. So this ain't a cloud chase, man. We just want to give everybody blessings, man, because fatherhood is an important day, man. So that's what it is, bro.
No doubt.
All right, man. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Mad Max?
Oh yeah, LL. If he drops a great album, tell Nas he need to go back, do whatever he needs, because his GOAT status gonna be in question. If LO at 60 drops I'm talking about something on whatever level that people consider great.
Right.
Nas, you're gonna have to see my son. All right. And Nas is the best rapper I ever heard. I think Nas is better than LL. But I mean, the cat can't come from 85, be 60, come out in 2024 and drop a fire album. Come on, son. If he drops a fire album, did you hear that song? He smoked Rick Ross and Fat Joe. Smoked them.
LL is nice, y'all. LL is nicer than he gets credit for, because we think about the soft girl songs, but if LL really wants to rap, he's nice, y'all. He's nice. I hate to break it to you.
Had a 5-mic verse with just rap hands. Unbelievable.
He's nice, bro. He's nice. Now, shout out to LL, man. And so that's your bar. I would say the bar for LL. If he reaches the GOAT bar, I mean the GOAT album, if his new album is as good as the GOAT album, then I'll respect it, man. If Nas's album with Primo is as good as Magic, I'll respect it, man. So those are at first I said Illmatic, because I want to blow this thing out the water, but we're gonna go Magic. But that's it, man.
LL's not capable of making Illmatic. I mean, I like it.
You gotta believe it's possible.
Somebody says, I don't understand what this means, but if you want to elaborate, Hip Hop Talk said Happy Father's Day to According Hip Hop. That was so sweet. I don't know what that means, but if you want to explain it, but shout out to everybody, man. It's all love, bro. It's all love, man. It's all love, man.
Yeah, no, I ain't tripping, man.
It's all love, man.
Shout out the fathers, man. And that's what you do it for, man. That's what we should be doing it for, at least. So
each one teach one, man. You know what I mean? So it's all good, bro. It's all good, man. It's all good. Well, this was Ron. That's Mad Max. That is Leroy Green. We are According to Hip Hop. Shout out. Everybody enjoy your Father's Day, man. Eat good. Chill with your people. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Peace. Mad Max, Ron.